morning, college football fans! We are back and ready to punch you in the face with a whole bunch of college football. That's right, y'all. We're taking a dive on into the depths of college football, all the way up to the surface of the FBS. Plenty to get into today. Triple CAA action. How about San Mateo giving it to number 3 Modesto? Also got some big matchups this weekend. Number 1. Well, I won't say number 1, but my gosh, what a downfall in the NJCAA. It wasn't necessarily number 1, but East Mississippi had definitely met their max. Moving on into the NAIA. Well, let's just say we got some big matchups to go this weekend, and Marion does it again to St. Francis. What? Also, in D3, hey, how about Wheaton taking out number 5? Moving on to NCAA Division II. Well, who would have thought the gap between 7 and 3 were that big? Minnesota Duluth just takes a beatdown from Minnesota State into the FCS. We are talking plenty here today, but we may have a few candidates for beatdown of the week in this division. And of course, James Madison gets all they can handle from Stony Brook. And then, of course, into the FBS. Who said Ohio State was finished? You are tuned in live to 3 and Out College Edition right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome, college football fans. Long time no see. My gosh, it has been forever, and I am totally to blame. My apologies. The wildness of my life got crazy, and even wilder with school, and guess what? Unfortunately, things just couldn't work with all the shows and everything, and I had to get everything kind of under control. Now everything's great, but unfortunately, it just wasn't for the whole month of September, and we missed a whole bunch. However, we are just fine here today. We are back at it and ready to deliver you a whole bunch of college football. We are midway through the season for some seasons and just getting started for certain. Well, not really just getting started, but the mayhem is just getting started, if you will. With that said, as I always say, y'all, got to start things off by saying, first and foremost, all glory to God. That's right, y'all. All glory to God. Without Him, nothing is possible. That's right. None of us possible, none of anything is possible. And of course, big shout out to all of y'all out there listening. Couldn't appreciate y'all more. Thank you so much for tuning in and showing us love. We certainly appreciate that, and we couldn't appreciate y'all more. Hey, IE Sports Radio is certainly nothing without you. We got so much coming up in the sports junction, if you will. Of course, the month of October, my favorite month. So much going on in this month. And, well, college football is just one of them. So we have the IE Sports Radio Hall of Fame voting begins. The ballot begins this week. We go through the process of nominations through the IE Sports Radio family. We let y'all vote for the first round, and then we get on into the final round where the IE Sports Radio family will then vote again. That process will take all the way through October and November, and then December, we name the second Hall of Fame class of the IE Sports Radio, or of IE Sports Radio. Big ups to the 5 that got in last year, and this year, well, we'll just add 5 more. So really excited for that, and really happy to continue such a cool tradition we got going on here at IE Sports Radio. Also, I want to make a quick announcement, guys. I have this week I'm officially starting YouTube. I'm super excited. Check us out, of course, on YouTube at IE Sports Radio. If you haven't already checked us out there, I will be starting my brand new football spin-off show of 3 and Out called Goal Line Stand. That's right, baby. Like you'd expect anything else out of me, right? Like, seriously, it's all about the defense. So, with that said, it's going to be a pretty sweet show. I'm going to have so much fun. It's not going to be this gigantic long thing. It's only going to be, I may decide to do it live. The first one will be recorded, but I will be doing the first one, like I said, recorded. It'll just be a video of me doing it, probably about maybe 10 minutes long. I'm just going to take a look at, pretty much everything. I'm going to take a recap throughout football, like literally all divisions, all everything, and into the NFL. And then it's going to be pretty sweet. Yes, I am including college in there. And then I'm going to have something every week called the Pick Six. like you didn't expect that, right? Right, football fans. Once again, you know me, LD fans. If a score is freaking 3-0 final score, I love baseball scores in college, in football, guys. That's all there is to it. You should know me by now. I hate touchdowns. They disgust me, unless they're my team. Other than that, scoring points just makes me sick. So I am really, unless it's defense, which is, awesome. So, just saying, we have here, I will be having what we call a segment called the Pick Six, where I'll be picking the top 6 nastiest defenses of the week in their performances and what they were able to do. So we're going to have that. I'll be having giveaways also in there. The brand new shipment of IE Sports Radio shirts will be coming up this week, so really excited for that one, or yours now. Hit me up and ask me how to get those. So really excited about all that, guys, and plenty to come. But with that said, today, we are jumping on in to the world of college football. That's right, y'all. So, with all of that said, welcoming, got to say, man, happy to have him back here for our second show, even though we're way into week 6 and 7 in the for NCAA FBS. Regardless, happy to have him here, man. He's been patient and just been real patient with my schedule and helping me out. By the way, getting all the banners done and getting a lot of stuff done. So couldn't appreciate this guy more for all of his work and his contribution to IE Sports Radio. He is a writer for The Pilot, of course, over here in Southern California. He is also host of our brand new show, Set Point. It debuted last week, and it made its second episode yesterday. I have yet to hear it, but I gotta go check it out. You better go check it out too. I'm pretty sure it was an awesome show. Plenty going on in the world of college volleyball. Unfortunately, my beloved Lady Lancers yesterday, they fell 3-1 to New Mexico State University, the defending champs, I think, or I don't know if they were defending champs, but they were pretty dang close to it last year. Anyway, tough go for the ladies yesterday, the Lady Lancers, but it's all good. They'll rebound, I know they will. But anyway, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming also co-host of The Defining Moment, which will be this week on Thursday. Yeah, my schedule jumps around, y'all know that. I try my best to get the real thing going. But anyway, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming the one, the only, Mr. Taryn Rodriguez. What's going on, Taryn? How's it going, man?
Hello, people. It's been a minute. Hello, college football fans. It has been quite some time. I'm glad to be back on 3 and Out College Edition. I'm glad 3 and Out College Edition is back. And all I gotta say is, what it do, baby?
What's going on, Taryn? How's it going, man? How's life, brother? How things going for you, man?
It's going great. It's going great for me. It's going great. Can't complain, living the dream. And as you said, God is great.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, I'm very excited, and yes, God is great. All glory to God. And very excited, man, for another episode here of College Edition. So let's jump on into it today, man, and get it going, man. So first and foremost, we're going to jump into a division that I guess hold true, I guess you could say a division or whatever it is, that I hold very true to my heart because I played in it. I love the CCAA. It's just a part of me as I became a part of it about, 11 years ago? 12? Oh my gosh, 12 years ago. I'm old. Anyway, I'm just kidding. You're only as old as you feel. But I love this, and I am even more excited because a certain somebody's team is number 1! That's right! That's right, y'all. RCC, baby. Riverside Community College. The community's college, if you will. That's right, y'all. I'm so excited. Just 9 years ago, Coach Tom Kraft came on over from Mount Sac, and I loved it because our motto was restore the roar. And boy, baby, did he restore the roar. RCC is just kicking butts and taking names, man. This team is absolutely insane, and what they've been able to do is incredible. I'm so excited to be an alum of this place and to have once wore that uniform and just to be a part of that entire community. And I am yet to make it to a game this year. I haven't been to a game in a very long time. Actually, I don't think I've ever been to a game
since I played there. So I need to get back there for sure. But I love this team. I'm so excited that we have able to have been so great. And see, that's what I'm talking about. You can say we when it's professional sports, and that's okay because they're your team and you love them and you're a diehard. But when you actually were a part of something, or even you went to a school, like for instance, Taryn is forever Long Beach State. He can say we all we want to because he's a freaking student there. He's poured in his life into this place for a few years of his life. Therefore, he will always say Long Beach State is we. He can say Chargers are we too because that's his team, but it's more we when he was really involved in it, being a part of the student body. So it's the same thing here. I could say we all day because that literally is we. Not only did I go to school there, every student is able to say we because I went to that school, I was also on the dang team. So, I can say we is really a we, even though I feel like it's not really a difference at all, in my opinion. I just think it's a we. No matter what, if you went there, if you were a part of it, it's a we no matter what. There's no more, no less, even if you were a player. Or a player from another team, at that same school. So anyway, I digress. Anyway, so let's jump on into the CCAA, and the rankings are not up for this week, but they were up from last week. So let's go ahead and jump into those really quick, courtesy of CCAA Sports, cccaasports.org, and we will go from bottom to top. We will go from 25 to 21. We have Foothill, Sierra, San Bernardino Valley coming on up, moving up the ranks. Last year, they had a pretty good run. Citrus and College of the Sequoias. All right, next up, from 20 to 6, we have Chaffey, 4-0 right now. Okay, Chaffey. Same thing with Citrus. They're 4-0 as well, 22. Long Beach City, oh my gosh. Taryn last week tagged me in the post that they barely won by a field goal, and I was like, oh my gosh, and it was at RCC, so thanks for that, Taryn. But yeah, man, Long Beach City having a tough run. I'm not used to seeing them up there because when we played them, they weren't very good. But once again, it's an 11-year gap, and RCC wasn't very good either. We weren't high ranked like this. Okay, when I played for them back then, I don't think we were ranked at all. But yeah, so as you can see, 11 when schools alternate and get better. Fullerton, who was up there and kind of gets dropped there at 18. Laney, the defending state champions. Well, they have fallen all the way to 2-2 on the season. They're currently number 17. Rough go, but there's still plenty of time. Then you have American River. All right, from 15 to 11, you have Shasta, Mount Sac. Oh boy, how the mighty have fallen. I'm just kidding. They were the big wigs back in the day. When I was playing, it was Butte, Mount San Antonio, of course, Mount Sac. Those were the big schools. Butte, San Francisco City College. Those were the big wigs. Also a team that I'm very familiar with, El Camino, Elko, they're number 13. Southwestern, a team that was kind of where we were when I played there. Now they're way up there, number 12. And then Butte, 11. And then from 10 to 6, we have Cerritos, which was a dear rival of ours, trust me. Anyway, Cerritos, but I love their field. Never got a chance to play on it, but I love their field from seeing it on film. We have a tie for number 8, San Diego Mesa, and College of the Canyons, which last year, College of the Canyons, man, they went all the way to the final of the southern section of the CCAA, and they fell to Ventura and went on to play the championship, and then Ventura lost to Laney. Anyway, so we have San Diego Mesa, who took their first loss of the week of the season this year. I wonder who that was to. Anyway, and then we have 7, Fresno City College, or Fresno City, and then City College of San Francisco, or San Francisco City College, however you want to say it, at number 6. Then your current top, number 5, we have Ventura, Saddleback, Modesto, College of San Mateo, and number 1. Where's the thunder effect? Where is it at? Okay, I just screwed that up. Hit the laugh button. But that's actually pretty funny. Because it doesn't even matter, baby. We're number 1. That's right. Riverside City College. Oh, yeah. So excited for my school. So proud. Let's go, Tigers. I'm over here coughing stuff. Okay, anyway. So, with that said, that was this past week. We don't have the latest rankings up, but that was, from last week. So, going into this week, here's how things shake out with the teams who are ranked. So, or the top 25 schools. So from this past week, number 3 Modesto would take on number 2 San Mateo, and that did not end very well. San Mateo literally destroyed. Well, it wasn't destroyed them, but it was a pretty nice little beatdown, 35-12. San Mateo just looked like they were a little too powerful for even number 2. So what's up, San Mateo? What, y'all trying to play or what? National championship? What? You, RCC? What's up, y'all? But looking tough right now. San Mateo, I think, won it 2 years ago, or they lost. No, they lost to Fullerton like 2 years ago, but something like that in the state championship. Or I guess you can call it national championship because it's, Triple CAA is just in California, so because we have so many community colleges. Anyway, number 17 Laney will take another bump, guys. As this week, I'm sure they've dropped even further. I'd hate to see them drop out the top 25, but they took another one. But it was number 11 Butte. Butte came prepared. Was not a huge beatdown, but it was enough. 17-point game where we just have a nice victory. That's all there is to it. Butte defeats Laney 24-7 at home. Then we have an upset that I am really kind of scratching my head about. Fresno City has been pretty good this year. They will drop one to number 16 American River 9-3. That's my kind of game, baby. Oh yeah, that's my kind of game. We have a baseball score going on. That's pretty high scoring baseball game, but I don't care. That's good enough for football for me. Anyway, so good stuff there. Oh, the applause button is going to get ready to roll again. Here we go. I better do it right this time, y'all. Number 1, Riverside Community College will take out number 8, San Diego Mesa. 61. My gosh. 61-26 on the road. Keep it rolling, Tigers. And then we have number 8, Fullerton. Well, it was a good game. Number 18, that is, sorry. Good game. But too bad, so sad. Just kidding. The Jackets would fall short in this one. It was a very good game, but my gosh. Way too many points for me to even be... the points in this game just... I get a bad taste in my mouth. But 48-7... Number 5, Ventura will edge out Fullerton in a tough one there. Then we have number 19, Long Beach, that was just pissed off from losing to RCC last week. And they were not going to lose another close one where they would fall to Cerritos. Where they would defeat Cerritos 26-24 at home. So Cerritos has dropped, I'm sure, but great football game between these two. Once again, number 19, Long Beach College defeating Cerritos College 26-24. And then we have another one that is just a tough bump for another team, Mount Sac. Once again, I'm not used to seeing them fall so far. Which, I wasn't even aware of the rankings back when I played. I just knew that I was playing football and I loved it. But I know Mount Sac was way up there somewhere. And, well, they have fallen probably a little further this week. They'll drop one to number 2, Saddleback. And Saddleback was also kind of where we were, like, in the same time. Maybe they're a little higher, I don't know. But anyway, all those years ago. Then we have Saddleback defeating Mount Sac. Number 2, Saddleback defeating number 14, Mount Sac. 27-24. And that is it. This week is like a mega bye week. Seriously, because there's like hardly anybody playing. I'm not quite sure what in the world happened. But I looked at the next week, and there's a whole bunch of teams playing. So, this week, I don't even see any ranked on ranked, but we have Los Melanos taking on De Anza, Gavilan taking on Foothill, Cabrillo taking on Redwoods, Contra Costa taking on San Jose, LA Valley taking on West LA, College of the Desert, COD, taking on LA Harbor, Yuba taking on Monterey Peninsula, Santa Ana taking on LA Southwest, Allen Hancock taking on Antelope Valley, and Glendale taking on Chaffee. So, from what I can see, none of those were ranked. Once again, we don't have the rankings out for this week. Regardless, those are all the games going on this week. Don't know if they're ranked on ranked. But anyway, so with all that going on, Taryn, thoughts, comments, what you got to say about this past week going into this week, man?
Well, obviously Riverside is the dominant team, but, they've had a few close calls.
I'm sorry.
Against Long Beach City, that like you said, that was a close one. I think Long Beach City is like the most slept on school, to be honest. And I'm not saying that because I go to Long Beach State. I think they are one of the more underrated schools. Fullerton was also a close call, but Fullerton always has a good team. They had a few bumps in the road, but now they're starting to get back on track. So Riverside definitely looks like the heavy favorite going into conference play, but they do need to watch out for a few teams, one of which being Saddleback. Saddleback always has a great team, and I can see that being a battle going into the final week of conference play. Another game that's worth mentioning that's going to be going on next week is probably not one of the better ones, but it is Golden West and Orange Coast. OCC or Orange Coast College being my team, they're off to a pretty bad start, but they face some really good competition. They lost to Ventura. Yeah, they also lost to East LA, and they have a new head coach as well. So honestly, it's been a rough go for the Pirates, but they do have a shot against the Rustlers. Golden West has also faced some stiff competition, and they're 2-3. Golden OCC is 1-4, but I expect a battle. This is basically going to be OCC's Super Bowl because if they, I doubt they can go 4-1 because you have to be 500 or better to be bowl game eligible. So basically next week is going to be OCC Super Bowl because they obviously want to win the bell, and they obviously want to get a big win for their new head coach. I believe his name is Bubba Gonzalez. So hopefully OCC can get the win. Nothing against Golden West, but I want my Pirates to get back on track. They one time had a good season. I believe it was in 2015. Where they went like 7-3, and they almost finished first in conference, but they fell a little short of the conference championship. If only Golden West had beaten Saddleback. But regardless of that, I'm hoping OCC football gets back to their former glory.
Real quick, Darren, I got to ask. I mean, I know this is a dumb question. You just said the bell, so I'm guessing it is. But I've always thought those two were actually that's actually a legitimate that's actually a rivalry, right? Like those two are 100% rivals, like RCC and Mount Sac would be, or RCC and El Camino. Like that's an actual rivalry. Like that, it's a rivalry, right? Like it's actually there's a trophy and everything.
Yeah, there is the bell, a prize. There is the victory bell where everyone gets to ring it after the game, and the winning team gets to ring the victory bell after the game. For the most part, it has been Golden West on top, but hopefully OCC can bring their A game. They have faced some stiff competition. They've had taken their lumps, but hopefully Adam Carr, I believe the quarterback, just goes full Tom Brady, because nothing would be great than getting Bubba Gonzalez's first win against Golden West. So hopefully, OCC can come out fired up and ready to go.
Well, let's hope so, Darren. I mean, this school seems, a couple years ago, as you mentioned, I believe they're actually pretty good. I don't know if you guys beat RCC that year. You might have, but I know that they're a tough team, and there's a lot to build on. I remember, last year going to the fair. It's like, hey, I didn't know OCC is right here by the fairgrounds. but yeah, man, you guys certainly have seen better years, but man, I am so gosh darn excited, for my team right now. So you know what, I can tell you, I know that you'll have that same amount of joy and excitement when you guys are right back up there, man.
Yeah, it happens. Teams go through a little bit of a rebuilding process. Nothing's really easy, but obviously a little bit of roster turnover. New head coach, but who knows? Maybe OCC will get back on track.
Well, let's hope so, man. I would love to see that. So, with that said, we're going to go and shift gears on into some more junior college. The other junior colleges around the country in the NJCAA. So, the National Junior Conference Athletic Association. We're now into week number 7 of this. We just finished up week number 7, heading into week number 8 of this season. Don't forget, they start a little bit earlier. They also end a little bit earlier in November. But a really cool conference here. By the way, this year you will find out, or next year for those Last Chance U fans, you will find out what California Community College is all about. No room and board, no scholarship, none of that. I was even aware of any of that until I started watching Last Chance U, and I was like, wait a second, they get paid for this? It's like, I didn't, but of course, I didn't know that the CCAA and the NJCAA was even a difference. I didn't even know there were different conferences. I had no idea. But I remember looking through the NJCAA one day and looking like, wait a second, where's RCC at? I know they're really good. And then I looked and I was like, oh, there's two different, like conferences or leagues or whatever you want to call it. I was like, oh, okay, well, or associations, if you will. So, anyway, with that said, going on into the NJCAA, this week's rankings, we'll save those because they have those up on the website. But going into last week, some big games, and last Thursday, I believe, how the mighty have fallen. Kind of sucks to say it that way, but man, East Mississippi was Last Chance U. The first few seasons were there, and it is just crazy to think East Mississippi is just like crazy. Like, they were just national champions last year, and Northwest Mississippi came on over and put up 20 points more than they did on their turf, man. Number 7 Northwest Mississippi will defeat number 3 East Mississippi 56-36. That deserves an applause, man. That's not easy to knock out these guys. So Northwest Mississippi doing something big here, getting a big victory. And how about that, guys? Next up, number 1 would fall, y'all. That's right. Number 1 will fall as well. And how crazy is this? There's only a top 20 in the NJCAA, and 20 would actually defeat number 1. So, number 1 Hutchinson will fall to number 20 Highland of Kansas, 29-27 on the road. Hutchinson will lose, and Highland will win this one at home, I believe. Good victory there for Highland. I wonder how far they came up with the rankings, and Hutchinson, I don't know how far they tumble, but we'll find out. Then we have number 6 Kilgore defeating number 10 Trinity Valley, 24-23, a 1-point game. Very good football game right there, looked like, and well, that was that. So now going into the rankings for this week, we have here courtesy of njcaa.org. Once again, njcaa.org, where you can find all of this information here and all the rankings and all the scores. We have here from 20 to 15, we have Blinn, East Central Mississippi, Mesabi Range, Independence. Hey, good to see Independence back up there after a tough year last year to their Last Chance U team, and ASA Miami. Then we have 15 through 11, Georgia Military, Highland, Kansas. Look at that, y'all. They have jumped up. Oh, sorry. They have jumped on up. That's right. Highland, y'all. I think they deserve a little more than this. Well, I don't know how far they can really jump up, but still, the team that knocked off number 1 is now 14 now. So, looking good here. Let's see, what are they on the season? They are now 4-2 on the season, so good stuff there. Then we have Snow, Jones, and Trinity Valley. Well, we should look at that. Trinity Valley, once again, after that tough loss, they wouldn't fall too far. They just fell 10 to 11. After that, we have Garden City, the team that played East Mississippi in the national championship last year that would lose East Mississippi. Garden City, 10-6. Once again, Garden City. Butler, East Mississippi has now fallen from 3 to 8. Number 7, Monroe College, and number 6, Hines. And then from 5 to 1, we have Kilgore. All right, Kilgore, I like that. They were 6, now they're 5. I know it's not a big jump, but hey, you know what? Nice upset there, and they will jump up. Number 4, Hutchinson. Okay, so they will only fall from 1 to 4. Number 3, Lackawanna. Number 2, Northwest Mississippi. Hey, if you knock off number 2 or number 3, you deserve to be up there somewhere, and they are now number 2. And the number 1, Mississippi Gulf Coast, currently not too bad, y'all, riding a 6-0 record there. And, well, they have jumped up on the number 1 as number 1 had fallen. So that is it. And this week, there is actually a pretty good amount of games coming. Actually, no, I only picked out 2. Well, I only saw 2. But number 13, Snow, will take on number 16, ASA Miami. And number 3, Lackawanna, will take on number 7, Monroe College. So, Taryn, any thoughts on the NJCAA?
It's crazy that Hutchinson lost that game lost last week. It's just you just can't underestimate anybody. You just really can't. And you have to be pretty happy for Highland. That's an amazing win, and to win it on your home field in front of majority of your fans, that's quite amazing. I imagine those students stormed the field after the game. So yeah, big ups to Highland.
Awesome, right? I mean, you can only imagine that, right, Taryn? You're at your game, and it's like, you're cheering on your team, but you're number 20. I mean, you're ranked, which is pretty cool, but let's face it, Taryn, you're taking on number 1. You don't know what to expect. It's probably it might be a beatdown. You don't want that, but you're like, but you're still there supporting your team. And oh my gosh, Taryn, it's a football game. And before you know it, it's the fourth quarter and it's still a football game. And the final buzzer rings and you're ahead on the scoreboard and you won the game. I mean, Taryn, come on now. Is that not some raw emotion right there?
No, it's just amazing. And I've been a part of a team, I've been a part of a team that was not, that my team, my football team, knocked off the number 1 team back back when I was at OCC. So yeah, it's just amazing. You're just in stunned belief of amazement. But if you're on the other side of that, it's just stunned belief of I can't believe our team lost, or however it happened, whether it was by missed field goal or missed PAT or an overtime. It's tough to lose a game when you're the number 1 ranked team, and if you're a fan, it's just heartbreaking, and you're just got your hands over your head saying, what happened?
That's gotta suck, man. Like, seriously. But who did you guys knock, by the way?
Yeah, OCC beat Golden West back in 2015. It was the West Coast rivalry, I believe it was like the late in the fourth quarter with like less than 30 seconds to go. OCC managed to score on a touchdown, and then it looked like OCC had the game locked up, but then I think like a pass interference call helped Golden West get into like field goal range, and then Golden West missed a field goal, and then it was just madness. It was everyone was. All the entire football team was excited. The players were ringing the bell. I even got to ring the victory bell, which was
that's sweet.
Which was really awesome. So it was just madness. It was amazing.
That's awesome. So then was Golden West number 1 at the time?
Yeah, Golden West was ranked number 1 at the time.
Oh, that is so cool, man. Were you guys even ranked or no?
Yeah, I think we were like top 10. I think we were like number 8 or something.
Hey, I don't even, but see how awesome was that? Like, because you don't expect it. It's like, it's not that you don't expect it because you believe in your team, but it's like, okay, number 1. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, unfortunately, that intimidation, I guess you can say. I mean, I don't know, but that's just cool. Like, maybe not intimidation totally, but like, that thought of like, okay, well, you don't know what to expect, but man, if we beat them. So, anyway, so that'll be that. Moving into this week. Moving on into the NAIA, y'all. Let's go. Week number 6 now. Marion does it again. This school last year would knock off St. Francis. St. Francis is number 1. St. Francis won back-to-back national titles. And Marion would be the team to knock them off. And Marion didn't go to the national championship. Morningside actually won it all last year, but still, they defeated Benedictine. I forgot what the score was, but Marion would dethrone, basically, like knock off St. Francis and knock them off their ranking. I wouldn't dethrone them, but knocked about number 1. And this year, Marion does it again. 28-10. Marion will knock off number 3. Well, number 6. Marion will knock off number 3. St. Francis 28-10. Talk about a game, and Marion just has their number, man. So I don't know, craziness there. But then we have number 7, Grandview. Defeating Benedictine, who I guess making right now. Number 2, tough go for Benedictine, man. Grandview will knock them off 27-6. It's like, that's a pretty healthy victory. Like you don't just call that to an error. You call that to like we just didn't show up, and they did. 27-6. Number 7, Grandview will knock out number 2, Benedictine. And then we have number 5, Concordia, defeating number 19, Siena Heights, 10-7. And my favorite type of football game right here. Tons of defense, you can tell. And a very good football game. Number 19, Siena, they got to tip your hat to these guys. Only a 3-point loss. And that's a pretty decent size gap in the rankings right there. So good victory though for Concordia. And then we had number 10, Lindsey Wilson, defeating number 14, Bethel, 58-3. So don't feel too bad, Benedictine, because another ranked on ranked team lost pretty bad. And my gosh, this margin was way bigger. It wasn't even close. And yeah, Lindsey Wilson got a huge victory there over Bethel. And then moving on to this week, let's see here. My trusty partner here, Mr. Taryn, got these for me because I couldn't find these darn rankings. But so moving on to this week, some ranked on ranked battles here for you. We have number 14, Bethel. So looks like they will fall. Actually, let's see. Where did they fall? Were they there? Did they fall? Bethel was currently okay. So it looks like I don't know what happened to the rankings, whatever. But from right now, I can see Bethel will be taking on number 11, Cumberlands. We have here, let's see, any more ranked on ranked. We have, actually, that's just for this week. That's it. I don't see anything because then I see Cumberlands again. So they kind of bunch these up here in the schedule. So I'm guessing that's just this week's top 25. So we're not going to go any further than that. So I'm guessing the game to watch, or the one, I'm not going to watch it. It'd be cool if it was televised, or you can just probably go to their school website and see it. But the game for, the game going on this week is probably going to be that ranked on ranked game. Bethel, number 14 Bethel taking on number 11 Cumberlands, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, I don't want to go further down the list because once again I guess I'll Cumberlands again, and I'm guessing that's just like into the next week. So I don't know. We'll do our best to sort out the NAIA with their schedule and everything, but that's pretty much the game to watch this week, and that is really all I got because the rankings aren't even up from what I can see. But if you'd like, we can go off of last week's rankings. From the 30th, which is completely fine. But once again, I think they have already changed. So we have, of course, from 25 to 21, Bethel, Baker, and, oh, wait a minute. Well, then they might have changed, because that was Bethel, Tennessee, and I forgot which Bethel it was that lost. So, yeah, I guess it could have been the rankings could be, have already been released for this schedule. But anyway, so we have 25-21. Bethel, Baker, Montana Tech, Kaiser, I believe that's how you say it, Kaiser or Kaiser, Reinhardt. Then from 20 to 16, we have Ottawa, Siena Heights, Evangel, Langston, and Montana Western. From 15 to 11, we have St. Xavier, Bethel, Tennessee this time, Dixon State. So, yep, that goes to show me that the rankings have not changed in the schedule because Bethel, Tennessee is still 14 in the schedules here. So, okay, there we go. All right, so 13 Dixon State, 12 Southeastern, and number 11 Cumberlands. From 10 to 6, we have Lindsey Wilson, College of Idaho, Northwestern Iowa, Grandview, Iowa, and then Marion, Indiana, and then from 5 to 1, Concordia, Michigan, Kansas Wesleyan, St. Francis, Indiana, Benedictine, Kansas, and number 1, Morningside, Iowa, the defending champions from last year. So, all right, well, with that said, those are pretty much all I got right now for the NAIA as we continue to try and dig into trying to find the scores and rankings and all that stuff there. So, Taryn, any thoughts on the NAIA, man?
Well, not really. That website is definitely tough to navigate through. It took me a while to find the scores or the games for this week. And NAI, if you're listening, which I kind of doubt you are, please kind of fix your website. And the rankings are supposed to have come out yesterday, but unfortunately they didn't. So we're going to be in the dark to see who's going to be where after last week. So it's kind of saddening, but I guess we can wait. Maybe it'll come out later today, hopefully. Well,
yeah, if it does, then one of us will tweet it out, but kind of sucks. I would wish it was a little bit, a little bit easier to navigate the website, but it's all good. I mean, we'll see. But anyway, with that said, that was all courtesy, by the way, of NAIA.org. Go check it out, y'all. You can see the rankings and everything there. But once again, this is pretty much what we got. We would have loved to have gone further into depth, but it's all good. So, all right, next up, go on into NCAA. All right, so Division III. The division that I know all too well, because I played in it. We have here just one game of the week from last week, seriously. But it was a good football game, and a pretty incredible upset. Number 5, North Central Illinois will defeat number 9, Wheaton, Illinois. 35-21. I'm sorry, no, it was backwards. Number 9, Wheaton, Illinois, at home will knock off number 5, North Central Illinois, 35-21. So big ups to them there, getting a nice victory. And hey, that's some good stuff right there, man. Anytime you can get a decent little upset, it's always nice and always a confidence booster moving forward. I can't wait to see the top 25 poll going into this week, which is exactly where we're going to go right now, because I really am excited to see this. So, all right, and it was released yesterday. Yeah, all right. Oh, it's actually a couple days ago. All right, so through games of 5. Okay, so I don't know if this was actually the most latest one, because it says it was through games 5. So maybe it was, I think. Yeah, I think it is. So anyway, here we go. So from 25-21, Case Western Reserve, Whitworth, which I know them because we played them at Laverne. Number 23, Linfield. Let's see here. Number 22, Cortland, and number 21, I am going to struggle so much with this one, Susquehanna, I believe is how you pronounce that. Then we have from 20-16, Johns Hopkins, who went pretty far in the tournament last year. Let's see if they can do it again. UW, so University of Washington, I believe, or University of Wisconsin. I'm not sure which one that is. But UW Platteville, which it could be any state with a W, so my apologies for that. Number 18, Wartburg. Number 17, Hardin-Simmons, the Bison. And then number 16, John Carroll. Number 15, Redlands. How about that? Team from the SIAC, man. Right here in Southern California. Used to be, I was the same division as them. Redlands, currently number 15. Get down with the bad selves, y'all. U of R. After that, we have Salisbury. Salisbury, that was actually in a couple of games. Well, in one of the games that we come into this week. Delaware Valley, Wesley, and St. Thomas. And then from 10-6, we have Ithaca, North Central Illinois, Barry, Molenberg, I believe how you pronounce that, and Bethel. And then from 5-1, we have Wheaton, Illinois, St. John's, Wisconsin Whitewater, Mount Union, and number 1, guess who? Mary Hardin-Baylor. Those two are like permanent guys, and they're probably going to play in the national championship again, or the Stag Bowl this year. Last year, they played, 2 years ago, they played each other in the last game of the Virginia chapter of the Stag Bowl, and it was pretty awesome. And wouldn't you know it, they would end off with a victory. Then the Stag Bowl, since like the early 90s, which is where Mount Union has completely owned everybody, Mount Union would win that victory. But last year, the Stag Bowl moved to Texas, and I don't know if it was last year or if it's this year they're going to move to Texas. But regardless, craziness, because the team that they would beat, it was like 12-10, it was a really good defensive game, would actually win this one very handedly last December. Mary Hardin-Baylor, they would face off yet again in the championship in the Stag Bowl, and this time Mary Hardin-Baylor would be number 1, and well, they have held on to it pretty good now, 4-0. I guess Mount Union is 4-0, and then I believe it's going to be either this year or next year that it'll move to either Texas, which is near Mary Hardin-Baylor, and if it was last year where it was near Mary Hardin-Baylor, now it's going to move up to Ohio, which is going to be near Mount Union. So kind of crazy, right? I think it was 2 years ago. I'm sorry I'm getting this kind of wrong for you guys, but the Virginia era, because now the Stag Bowls are going to start moving around apparently. I don't know if they're going to move around until they stay put again, but once again, from the early 90s, the Stag Bowl was there in Virginia. And now it's just really crazy because, they're moving it around, and wouldn't you know it, the first place they moved to is in Texas, which is, once again, near Mary Hardin Baylor. And then the next place after that they're going to move to is Ohio, which is near Mount Union. So pretty cool because both of these teams get a chance to kind of play in front of their home crowds if they go to the national championship. I'm always talking like if I'm assuming they're going to go. But, hey, those are the two best teams in the country, and I'm really excited to see that. For a long time, Mary Hardin Baylor would take on, like, Whitewater. Was there a couple of years. I forgot who else was there fighting them for a while. I don't see them even in here in the top 25. I remember there was another school. Maybe I guess it was Wisconsin Whitewater. But anyway, so yeah, I think it's kind of cool if that's going to pretty much happen. Those two are going to take each other on. So I don't know if it's this year they're going to Texas or if it was last year they were in Texas. And I don't know if it's this year they were going to Ohio or if it's this year they're going to be in Texas. I don't know. But the Stag Bowl could be moving around in December. Really excited for that coming up. So anyway, that is the current look there of the top 25. And now we will go ahead and get into the games of the week for this week. This is courtesy of D3Football.com. Really cool website, guys. Once again, it's D and then the number 3football.com. So we're moving on over to the games of the week for Division 3. We have here, let's see, moving forward, number 12, Wesley, taking on number 15, Salisbury. Number 7, Bethel, taking on number 4, St. John's, and that's really all I got for this week. So, those are the top 25 battles we got going on for this week, and, Taryn, any thoughts, man?
Well, I will say this, in the receiving votes, I can't believe someone gave a vote to Trin after they lost to Hope 51-0, which is kind of disappointing. I mean, someone must be biased, if you ask
Somebody
me.
has a friend. Somebody's got a buddy. That's messed up, Darren. Why are you going to bring that stuff up, man?
I'm just looking at, I just saw it in the comments section who's saying, who is the voter that gave Trin a top 25 vote after losing 51-0 to Hope? And then D3Sports.com replied with a facepalm emoji. You have to admit, this is kind of funny. It's like, come on, man.
I know. That's a come on, man. I mean, seriously. Hey, that's hilarious, man. I see it right here. I see the... That's pretty hilarious. That's pretty funny because... I'm sorry. That's hilarious. I mean, really, guys... They received their one vote. Oh, that is great. That is great. I'm looking here, and yep, Trin, or Trine, or however you pronounce that, got one.
Yeah, they were number 24, and they lost, and they got shut out.
What was that?
But they were number 24 last week, and, it says they dropped out, and, they lost to Hope last week. They got shut out. But shout out to that Hope defense. That's amazing.
Yeah, man. Like, that's pretty big time, and they're not even ranked, so that's pretty sweet, man. We gotta take a look at Hope coming up here. There you go. Wisconsin Oshkosh is also the other team. Now I'm looking at the votes, and those were the team. That was a team that was actually up there battling Mount Union in, like, the past years throughout that. Like from the early 90s all the way until now. So anyway, it was hilarious. That's pretty hilarious, man. That's a good one, man. So, with that said, any other thoughts or comments or hilarious findings you have found, Darren, about the Division 3?
All I gotta say is shout out to Redlands for representing California. That definitely deserves the applause button.
It does. One more time. I'm so happy. Like, you know what? Yes. Coming from the SIAC, baby. That's right. Redlands. Congratulations, guys. And maybe this year, somebody from the freaking SIAC will go further than the first round. Because for some crazy reason, every year, even Laverne, after like 2 years after I left, they won the SIAC and they won the SIAC and they move on, and it's hilarious because like every year, it doesn't matter. Redlands is usually the one who wins it. I remember Chapman won a couple years ago. It's like or Chapman won last year, whatever. It's like whoever wins it is out in the first. Like the winner of all the conferences just go to the tournament, and it's kind of messed up because every year the SIAC, I forgot what it stands for, Southern California, whatever, but the Division III of private schools, or the Division III chain of private schools down here in Southern California, it's like, really, guys, like really, y'all can't win a little more than y'all just want to go, second round maybe second round, yeah. So hopefully we get a nice victory, and I don't know how long it'll be. Maybe it's been maybe last year, I forgot. I don't know, but it's been, from what I remember, it's just been a while. Somebody from the SIAC will go further than the second round. Once again, that's just me. So it is what it is. I don't know if I don't know. I could be totally wrong on how long it's been, but from what I remember and from what I've been seeing the last couple of years, the SIAC just hasn't gone very far. So. In the tournament. So, all right. Anyway, with that said, that is Division 2. Moving on over now to Division 3. Moving on over to Division 2, courtesy of D2football.com. So, pretty much the same thing as D3 football, but D, the number 2, and then football.com. We are going to move on over to go check out these Division 2 old goods in Division 2. So, here we go. All right, where are we at? Here we go. All right, so Division 2. Now, not a whole bunch going on here, but for those of you who are listeners of the Defining Moment, and you know that I go into college hockey a lot, you know that Minnesota Duluth is the real deal. I think they're the champions from last year. They're all over they're hockey, like it's a hockey school, big time D1 hockey. Well, they're D2 in football, and certainly. Certainly a school that has come up in the rankings, for sure, as they are currently number 7, last week. And then last year's, I think they went all the way to the championship last year. They were somewhere right around there. But they would then fall to, they would have visiting Minnesota Duluth come on over, and Minnesota State was number 3. So you'd expect a pretty good football game, and it was anything but good. Minnesota State just beats down number 7 Minnesota Duluth 52-7. That's almost, my gosh, this was pretty sad. Wow, that's why I said earlier in the introduction, the gap between 7 and 3, who to think it'd be that far? We've seen some beatdowns already, but my gosh, I was just expecting a little bit more of Minnesota Duluth. Bulldogs just couldn't get it done. I forgot what the Minnesota State mascot is, but regardless, just what a victory here for Minnesota State. Then we have number 23, Angelo State, falling to number 5, Tarleton State. And Tarleton, last year, this Texas school is a good football team. Actually, they just, As a matter of fact, this past year, they would produce a player, as a matter of fact, to the Colts. EJ Speed, if I could now have to look him up real quick. He actually is from Tarleton State, and I think he's actually on the active roster for the Colts. I seen him last week when the Raiders played them, and so who says you can't make it from the smaller schools? Also, you have guys like Ollie Marpet, who made it from Division 3, and he's on the Buccaneers now. He played for Hobart. So really cool when these smaller division guys get there. If you remember Cecil Shorts for the Jaguars a couple years ago, or actually about a decade ago, somewhere around there. He played for Mount Union, so Division 3. So really cool when you see that. Or NAIA players, or of course any players from the JUCOs that move up. Doesn't matter where they go. It's really cool when they move up from these smaller schools, like in the smaller divisions or smarler associations, if you will, or divisions of these smaller divisions of these associations. So, with that said, big ups though. Tarleton State get a nice victory there, and they will defeat Angelo State, number 23 Angelo State, 30-13, and there you have it. So let's go on over to D2football.com and check out these rankings, shall we, and see where everybody lines up. And let's hope we have some fun here. I don't know if there's going to be any facepalm action going on here, Taryn, but we'll find out. All right, so moving on over, top 25 poll from this past week. Let's get it. All right, so we have here. Well, that is a very interesting way they put the poll up here, but all right. So, anyway, we have from 25 to 21, Kutztown, We have Midwestern State, who I believe is somewhere down there in Texas too. Remember last year I was tweeting about a game between those two, Midwestern State and Tarleton State. But anyway, we have here number 24, Midwestern State. Then number 23, Angelo State. Number 22, Bowie State. Which Bowie, of course, I would hate to say that's... Oh, no, that is Division 2. Yes, that's Daryl Kinsey Jr.'s alma mater for his Baxters, and they've moved up from the CIAA. They moved up. They're moving on up this year. I don't know if Hall is still there, but I forgot his first name. But yeah, the guy was a pretty dang good player. I know Daryl was very high on him because Daryl covered a few football games there in the booth. But big time ups there, Bowie State, currently at 4-0, and then IUP at 4-0 as well. From 20 to 16, we have Texas A&M Commerce, a team who was all in last year. It was pretty crazy, man. Last year or 2 years ago, they got all the way to the national championship and won it. So they wouldn't win it last year, but they certainly won it all this past year, or 2 years ago, defeating West Florida, who I don't see up here, and I really, really, really hope we get to see them sometime back, because the Argonauts, incredible story. That was their second year even being a program. They made it all the way to the national championship. That was awesome. But then this team right here was super cool. Because their quarterback, Perez, wasn't even a quarterback like in high school. Like, how crazy is that? He was a bowler, I think. He was from San Diego. And how crazy is it? This dude just jumps into college football and becomes like a Division II quarterback. And then he gets the best player. I forgot what they call it, but the best player of the year award for college football as a quarterback. And that was like his second or first year of playing the game or something like that. So pretty cool, right? Anyway, so we have Texas A&M Commerce, the Lions, from 20. Pittsburgh State, the Gorillas, at number 19. Harding, the Bison, at 18. Number 17, Central Missouri. Number 16, Wingate. And then we have from 15 to 11, Westchester. CSU Pueblo, over there in the Colorado schools. Slippery Rock, Colorado School of Mines. And Lenore Rhine. Hopefully I said that right. From 10 to 6, we have Indianapolis, Notre Dame, Grand Valley, Minnesota Duluth, and Northwest Missouri. And then number 5, awesome here that we have Tarleton State. So we have Tarleton State, Ouachita Baptist, Minnesota State, Ferris State, and number 1, of course, the team who won it all last year, and they're still holding on number 1 right now, Valdosta State over there in Georgia. So, with that said, we have here a couple games coming on up for this week. Let's take a quick look at them. And that are going to be, some of those big-time matchups here. And I, unfortunately, don't think I even wrote those down. Wow, that's interesting for me. So, alrighty, well, let's just go ahead and break on in to the Division 2 website and get on over to the scores and what's coming up for this week. I thought for sure I wrote them down, but I guess I didn't. So, alrighty, so coming up for this week on 10, let's see, what would that be, 12? Let's see here. So, let's cruise on down the list and see some ranked on ranked action. Let's see here. I don't really see anything, which is kind of crazy. So, you know what, though? The rankings are also not on here on the actual website. So I'll just go off of what I remember, guys, because I have it on my phone, not on the website. So, okay. So, real quick, a couple teams who I guess remembered from there. Let's see. I did see Bowie right now. They'll be taking on Shawan, or Shawan. I don't think they're ranked. They might be from last year. I don't know. Or from last week. I don't know. But we have that. We also have big shout out to Virginia Union. One of my buddies used to play there. Well, he was actually there for a little bit before he was injured. They'll be playing Lincoln, PA, or Pennsylvania. Sioux Falls taking on Minnesota Croxton, as a matter of fact. Pittsburgh State, they are ranked. The Gorillas, they'll be taking on Northwest Missouri coming up. And I remember Northwest Missouri a couple years ago was actually the national championship, or pretty close to it. I remember they were somewhere in it, but they had a really cool, it was like family or brotherhood, I think. I think it was family on their back plates, or on their name plates on the back. That was pretty cool, I thought. But anyway, for the national championship. But anyway, after that, we have here, let's roll on down the list. All right, looks like Lenore Rhine, they'll be taking on Tusculum. Hopefully not butchering that name there. St. Cloud, that's a big hockey school. They're Division II in football, so they're taking on Augustana, I believe. And then we will have a few more here. Let's take a look and roll on down the list and see who's playing. Minnesota Duluth, they are playing Wayne State in Nebraska. Harding will be playing Oklahoma Baptist. That's actually ranked on ranked, I think. IUP taking on Slippery Rock. Should be a pretty good battle there. I'm looking forward to that one. Let's see. It would be so cool if I could find a way to walk season, which I think you can. Once again, if you go to their website, like the actual school athletic website, which I'm going to have to start. I was doing that last year, but once again, this has been so out of whack. But, okay, I'm going to get back to that, though. But we have Minnesota State and Northern State going head-to-head. We have Ochita Baptist taking on East Central. And I think that's actually... Oh, no, we don't. Western New Mexico will be taking on Angela State. Once again, I don't know if they're still ranked after last week, but regardless, they're still in it. They're playing this week. And we have Ferris State taking on Wayne State, Michigan. Valdosta State, number one will be taking on Delta State. Saginaw Valley will actually be taking on Grand Valley. I think that's actually a rivalry. I covered that one last year. Or I think that was one of the games of the week last year. So Midwestern State taking on Texas A&M Commerce. That actually should be a really good football game. Midwestern State, they're both in Texas. As I mentioned the other day, they were a team that played Tarleton. I don't know if they play annually, but, pretty good football game from what I can remember, from what I can think the score was. And then, of course, the national champions from 2 years ago. So we got Tarleton State taking on Eastern Mexico as well. And then we're getting close to the end here. Hey, Azusa Pacific. Big shout out to APU. I'm a Cal Baptist person over here, diehard. I would love for us to have a football team. I would have played for them years ago. But I do know APU as a football team. They're in the GMAC or GSAC or GMAX or whatever it's called conference over here, but they're playing Central Washington. I think they're already in conference play, so should be a pretty good game there, or at least hoping for them. And then that's pretty much it for Ranked on Ranked, guys. So, all right, anyway, so there you have it, and then there are the rankings for right now and all the good stuff. So, Taryn, after all that craziness of me having to dig through all that, sorry about that, man. What's going on, man? How you feel about D2 right now?
Well, that Texas A&M Commerce and Midwestern State game will be really interesting because both teams had a huge drop in the rankings, and, both those teams are going to look to get back on track. I'm going to make the prediction and say that one of those teams won't be ranked next week for the team that doesn't, for the team that loses. So, yeah, that's my prediction, Texas A&M Commerce dropped 9 spots from number 11 to number 20, and then Midwestern State dropped from number 14 to number 24. So it's a huge game for both those teams. I'm going to take Texas A&M Commerce to win that one, but the losing team is probably not going to be ranked next week.
That's a very good assumption, because personally, man, you know how it goes. When one team just, when this kind of matchup happens and somebody's a little lower in the ranks, even if they're higher in the ranks, you might take a tumble, depending, because of the hype of the game, you know what I mean? Like, because, of course, the bigger the game. So, I don't know, sometimes yeah, sometimes no, but at least that's a very fair assumption to make. So, after that, we have, of course, Division. Let's see here. So we just finished up with D2. Now we're going into the FCS, and this should be a pretty fun one here, guys. Really interesting about this, because there is a lot of ranked games every week. The NAIA usually has a bunch of ranked games every week. I love the NAIA system. It just kind of sucks that we couldn't, get all the games and everything. But, okay, so this is actually courtesy of... Really cool website, guys. It's FCSfootball.com. I believe, or just look it up, FCS football, or FCS. Yeah, just type in FCS football on Google. Super cool website here. The rankings were just placed yesterday, or were just up yesterday, or just put up yesterday. So here we go. This is now week number 6 of the FCS. And here we go. So last week, number 1, North Dakota State, who I really think should just become a freaking lower FBS school now, because they've won I mean, all but 2016 when they lost to James Madison, or where they would lose to James Madison in the semifinal. They've won everything from 2011 all the way until last year. So yeah, what is that, like 7 or 8? Okay, that's incredible. Okay, so once again, I really think they should move up. Anyway, with that said, number 1, North Dakota State, the Bison, the producers of Carson Wentz, and now Easton Stick, who is now a Charger, as Mr. Tarrant and I spoke before, I believe, on this show. But we have here number 1, North Dakota State defeating number 14, Illinois State, 37-3. Number 11, Central Arkansas will fall to number 6, Nichols, 34-14 on the road. Also, we have number 19, Youngstown State, falling to number 10, Northern Iowa on the road, 21-14. And then, number 2, James Madison gets it done on the road, guys. This is a very good football game. Stony Brook gave, as I mentioned in the introduction, Stony Brook gave James Madison all they could handle. How about this? 45-38. What a good football game, but the Dukes still come out on top, defeating number 22, Stony Brook, 45-38 on the road. Big victory there for those guys, big game. And that is that. So, moving on here, we have the rankings as of right now, and well, here we go. From 25 to 21, we have Sam Houston State, good football school. They will produce Davenport a couple years ago, who was on the Saints and just doing his thing right now. UC Davis, hey, they would produce Doss, and well, I'm just very happy Keelan Doss is a Raider. We also have from 23 up, so we have Southeastern Louisiana. From 23 up, we have Stony Brook, and then 21 up, we have Princeton. After that, from 20 to 16, Southeast Missouri State, Youngstown State, Maine, and Jacksonville State, and Central Arkansas. From 15 to 11, Delaware, Illinois State, North Carolina A&T, Nichols, and Furman. And then we have from 10 to 6, UNI, Towson, Montana, Kennesaw State, Montana State, and Montana State, sorry. And then from 6, we have, or from 5 to 1, Villanova. Hey, who said they were just a basketball school? Weber State, South Dakota State, the Jacks, number 2, the Dukes of James Madison, and number 1, the Bison of North Dakota State. So that's a current look there at all of those games. And then we have here the scoreboard. Moving into this week, the top 25 games, and I had to dig through these as well. I really thought I wrote them down, but whatever, my bad. So, we have quite a few of them, actually. Number 5, Villanova will be taking on James Madison. That should be a great football game. I don't think the Wildcats are going to pull this thing off versus the Dukes, but man, I'd love to see this thing. I'm going to really try and find it on the internet somewhere. Hopefully on one of their websites I can find it, like their athletic websites. That would be a great game to see. After that, we have here, let's see, who else do we got? And number 3, South Dakota State will be taking on number 19, Youngstown State, which is going to be a pretty good one as well. I thought there were more for some reason, but there's not. So those are the only ranked games that I on here, but you can check out the website as well. Once again, that is at fcs.football, or just www.fcs.football. And then just, there you go. So find it. You're good. So with that said, Taryn, any thoughts on the FCS this week, man?
Well, you kind of took the words right out of my mouth. Villanova and James Madison is going to be a great, great game. What I don't understand is why, we're going to be getting into this soon, why is USC going to be scheduling UC Davis in the near future is beyond me. Like, why? I saw in the near future, I think maybe next year or the year after, USC is going to be scheduling UC Davis, and that kind of has a few of the USC fans appalled. So, we'll discuss that later when we get into the FCS, or FBS, but come on, man.
Well, are you familiar with the term tune-up game, Taryn?
Yes.
Well, unfortunately, that's just what it's going to be. Every year, it's just kind of how it goes. Like, I'm very upset at the fact that Alabama had 3 FCS schools on their schedule last year. Like, okay, man, can you make any more of a cupcake schedule? Like, that's kind of stupid. Like, I don't know. I really think that every team should be held to one FCS school opponent every year. It would kind of suck if, USC and, were to get more FCS schools. But actually, it's not even FCS. I'm sorry. UC Davis actually is an FBS school now, I believe. I'm not 100%. Oh, actually, no, they're not. I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought they were, but never mind. They're not. Because I just read them off on the rankings, right? So, my apologies. But, yeah, I think that would be kind of stupid. I mean, I don't know. For many of those big powerhouse schools, it's like, okay, just knock it off. Like, can we not play like a whole bunch of those schools? Like, it'd be nice, to not play a whole bunch of FCS schools. Anyway, so with that said, as a look there at the FCS, and that is that. So we're gonna take ourselves a break. When we get back, you can check out all of our new drops, by the way. That's right, yours truly. I made a whole bunch of drops yesterday, so I'm really happy that we got a brand new bunch of these made now. You'll be hearing the new 3 and out drops and all the good stuff there. So, with that said, y'all, we're taking ourselves a little break. And when we get back, we'll be talking, of course, about the giant, the elephant in the room, the FBS, all the madness that happened this past week, and, of course, getting into the games of the week for this week. With that said, you're listening to 3 and Out College Edition right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this. College football, and do you want to hear a college football show dedicated to all that is college football, including junior college and the CCCAA and the NJCAA, the NAIA, and the NCAA, including Division III, Division II, Division I AA in the FCS, and Division I Single A in the FBS? Well, then look no further. Join myself, Larry B., and my colleagues, Mr. H-Town Blake Henley, and Mr. Christian Espinoza, each week during the college football season for the latest in college football on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey guys, it's Blake Henley, better known as H-Town Blake to some of you. Happy to announce that Bases Loaded is back in full force. We'll be bringing that high heat every Tuesday night here on IE Sports Radio. So come home, get ready, dig into that batter's box, and see if you can chase that high heat, baby. So we'll be coming to you live with all the stats, all the rundowns, all the division rivalries, and every team that's going to make the playoff push to get to that one and only October and get to the pinnacle of what baseball is, to hoist that Commissioner's Trophy when it's all said and done.
What's going on, football fans? This is me, your boy Larry B, inviting you to join myself, Colin Reynolds, Mike Pat, and John Felipe for one of the most electrifying football shows you have ever heard. 3 and Out, right here at IE Sports Radio. Recap of the week before, a preview of what's to come, and of course, 3 hardcore head-to-head prime-time face-offs each week. You don't want to miss it.
the Soccer Scoreboard Show with your host, Gabriel Montoya. This is the show for soccer, football fans, or whatever you call the beautiful game. Every week, I tackle the latest and greatest news from around the soccer world. From the English Premier League, to the World Cup, to MLS, Liga MX, and more. You can listen to the Soccer Scoreboard Show and our lineup of fantastic guests every Friday at noon here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Wrestling fans in the podcast world, you are in the right place to listen to the right show, the premier show in the professional wrestling podcasting world. This is Ring Rambling Radio, and you are listening to one of the co-hosts. I am Martin Sandoval, a.k.a. the SoCal Saint, along with my two co-hosts, the lovely Felicia and my boy Matt. Yes, every Saturday or every other Saturday morning, you can listen to us, the premier wrestling team, giving you the premier wrestling news, rumors, updates, event discussions, everything that has to do with professional wrestling. You're in the right place. IE Sports Radio presents Ring Rambling Radio. Don't miss it, because it's just too sweet.
Two Wheels Wednesday is the place to come for all your motorcycle sports news every Wednesday on IE Sports Radio with myself, Matt White. All the latest news, rumours, race reviews and previews from World and British Superbikes and the big one, MotoGP. Two Wheels Wednesday, every Wednesday on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sport.
Hi, I'm Phil Robinson, running points, setting up Phil Jones for the finish. Join us every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, as we break down the week in basketball on the home for Real Talk Sports Radio, iesportsradio.com.
Drivers, start your engines. Auto racing takes many forms, from the close quarter contact of NASCAR
to the high-speed, high-risk atmosphere of IndyCar,
all the way to the pinnacle of technology with the Formula One World Championship.
No matter if you prefer the high banks of Daytona,
the concrete canyons of Long Beach,
or the flowing curves of the Nürburgring,
the international language of motorsports is simple. Go fast,
run hard,
and come home first.
So join us, myself, Darrell Kinsey Jr.,
Lolita Camello,
and Michael Ward,
on a world tour of all the best motorsports has to offer on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, only on your home for all that is sports, IE Sports Radio.
Good day, folks. Yours truly, Nico Green here, reminding you, tune in to the Neutral Zone Hockey Talk Radio Show, Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern, proudly brought to you by IE Sports Radio. It's the Neutral Zone. All hockey, all the time. Take care. See you soon.
What up, all you boxing fans? This is Vince Wright, the sports governor, and me and Gilbert Batista are the host of Ringside on IE Sports Radio. Make sure you keep it tuned to IE Sports Radio, Spreaker.com for the latest edition of Ringside. All the boxing news you need right here. Keep it tuned, Spreaker.com, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
NBA, college basketball fans out there. Tired of hearing about just the dramatic stuff in the basketball world. Tired of hearing about what such and such wore tonight and not about the game? Hey, leave all of that alone. Because on Wednesday nights, I got this show called Fast Break with Phil Jones here on the IE Sports Radio. And all we talk about is straight basketball, from where it comes down to the NBA, the NCAA, and even the WNBA. I don't discriminate. I give all my NBA, my basketball, whatever you want with sports, to the slam dunks, to the three-pointers, to the teardrops, to the game winners. I'm there. I'm speaking about it. I have a debate. I have my panel. I got a squad that rolls in. And we're going to be talking mad sports. We're going to be talking about the Lakers. We're going to be talking about even the Brooklyn Nets. We're going to be talking about who's the top team out there in the NBA. So, tired of all the drama. Tired of all the... What did he wear today? What kind of shoes he had? Forget all that. Just come over. Fast Break with Phil Jones here on IE Sports Radio every Wednesday night at 8 Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, y'all. So, yo, tune in.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Vince Wright, the sports governor from the great state of Minnesota, and I want to thank you for listening to Sports Done Right. Make sure you're checking us out on all of our platforms, whether it's Spreaker.com, XSquadAffiliates.com. We're also heard on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, so keep it tuned here. More great things coming from Sports Done Right.
From the home plate to the nets, the end zone to the finish line, here nothing is off limits and no sport is safe. Not what it seems with your host Caitlin Seam, bringing you sports like you've never heard before. Catch me Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, right here on IE Sports Radio. The only question is, are you ready?
Attention, all sports fans! If you're someone who wakes up each morning with lists of sporting events to go along with your to-do list for the day, then you just might be a diehard. The world of sports is as vast as the ocean is deep, including the major leagues, the minor leagues, the college, and everything in between. This is me, your boy Larry B of IE Sports Radio, welcoming you to join me every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on The Defining Moment, a show that focuses on what really matters in the sports world, sports themselves, and nothing outside of them. Once again, tune in for The Defining Moment with me, your boy Larry B, every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on IE Sports Radio, right here on Spreaker.com. We'll see you there.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, sports fans out there, specifically college football fans tuning in right now. Tune in every week, of course. I know it's not that time anymore, but it's just a fun drop. I love that drop. Eventually, we'll get back to that time in the off season. That's going to be our off season time and days. But with that said, y'all, we're going to go ahead and roll on now into the FBS and finish off the show today with all the craziness that went on. Now, this time we are not going to go just top 25. We're going to go into the depths of it, and I'm going to go ahead and just go kind of piece by piece. So let's get to it, Taryn. So first and foremost, last week was pretty crazy. We actually had some earlier in the week games that we will get to momentarily, and then kind of just go into that. So we got about another 30 minutes on the air. Enjoy, y'all. So here we go. Last Thursday, October 3rd, we had Georgia Southern defeating South Alabama 20-17 in double overtime. I absolutely love college overtime, and man, was this a good game. I'm so bummed I didn't get to see it, but I think I was actually watching Thursday Night Football last week, but they would win it by a Tyler Bass, or Bass, I don't want to butcher his name, but 37-yard field goal. And there you have it, y'all. Georgia Southern will win this thing on the road. Then we have Temple defeating East Carolina 27-17. I believe our very own Miss Angela Winstead was actually at that game because she's a homer. I don't know if she went there, or I think she's just a big fan, or she went there. I have no idea, but definitely big time ups to the Pirates. Unfortunately, though, they would fall to Temple 27-17. After that, on Friday last week, Cincinnati. How about these Bearcats, y'all? Man, that is awesome. These Bearcats will knock off they'll knock off number 18, UCF. Big victory there for those Bearcats at home, 27-24. Talk about a big victory there, with big upset. I really hope they're ranked this week. We'll find out. Then we have San Jose State knocking off New Mexico 32-21. Moving on to next week, now we'll go hyperspeed. Let's see here. We have number 5, LSU, defeating Utah State, 42-6. Number 6, Oklahoma, defeating Kansas, 45-20. Number 8, Wisconsin, defeating Kent State, 48-0. Big victory there. Also another big victory. We have, this one's actually a little more understandable. that one was more understandable. Purdue should have given Penn State a little more of a fight. My gosh, they got beat down. Number 12, Penn State will wipe the floor with Purdue, man, 35-7. After that, number 19, Michigan defeats number 14, Iowa, 10-3. After that, another upset alert, y'all. Texas Tech gets it done in another high-scoring affair. The same exact way they love winning all their games, and with a basketball score. 45-35, defeating number 21, Oklahoma State. USF will then defeat UConn 48-22. Maryland will defeat Rutgers 48-7 on the road. Tulane will defeat Army 42-33 on the road. Louisville defeats Boston College 41-39, a close game there. Iowa State defeats TCU 49-24. Let's see here. Central Michigan defeats East Michigan 42-16. Number 10, Florida, in a game that seriously was, I don't know why you would schedule such a juggernaut as homecoming, but I don't know, maybe it was forehand. I don't know how far in advance they make the schedules, but, well, homecoming ended up being against Auburn, who was ranked 3 spots higher than Florida. Could have been really bad, but it wasn't for them, so good thing in Gainesville they had a happy homecoming instead of a bad one, because they lost pretty. I mean, any homecoming is a good homecoming, you get to see old friends and everything. But anyway, we have Florida, number 10, Florida upsetting number 7, Auburn, 24-13. That deserves an applause right there. Definitely big ups to them in that victory. Number 9, Notre Dame defeats Bowling Green 52-0. Number 11, Texas will knock off West Virginia 42-31. And that game was actually, I mean, this was actually like a game last year, like 2 years ago, and it sucks to see how far West Virginia has fallen. They lost a couple of receivers, they lost their tight end, they lost their quarterback, Will Greer. They've kind of, all to the NFL, of course. And it's like, man, they didn't have a lot of depth apparently or something, but yeah, they've had a kind of a tough year, the Mountaineers, but I'm sure they'll be back soon. We have Ohio defeating Buffalo in overtime, 21-20. Talk about a crazy victory. It would all end on an O'Shan, I want to butcher his name, O'Shan Allison 5-yard run. Louis Zervos with the extra point, and there it is, guys, the victory that did it all. The extra point said plenty, as well. That would help get the victory for the Bobcats on the road versus Buffalo. Toledo will defeat West Michigan. I think it's Western Michigan. So 31-24. Georgia State defeating Arkansas State 52-38. We have Ball State defeating Northern Illinois 27-20 on the road. Virginia Tech will defeat Miami 42-35 on the road. Navy will defeat Air Force. We got a Service Academy game here. Navy defeats Air Force 34-25 at home. Mid Tennessee defeats Marshall 24-13 at home. Baylor defeats Kansas State after Kansas State had a pretty good start. Don't know what happened to them, but Baylor, maybe they're on their way back. They will defeat Kansas State on the road 31-12. Once again, Baylor defeating Kansas State on the road 31-12. Minnesota, up and down team for sure, but they will knock off the Fighting Illini of Illinois 40-17 at home. Memphis in those really cool uniforms. I want the applause button for those uniforms. I love the Memphis Tigers uniforms. They're cool in blue, they're cool in white. They're just awesome uniforms. I can't help it. Maybe because I'm a Tiger and RCC, they had, the Bengals uniforms. That was awesome. Let me say. So, Memphis, 52-33 over UL Monroe on the road. Missouri, another Tiger team, will defeat Troy 42-10. Nebraska will just barely get a victory over Northwestern because Nebraska had no business being ranked earlier this year, and now they're 4-2, and I'm still not. I know I'm hating on them right now, but still, I don't know how they were ranked. I'm not going to let that go. It's going to be freaking bowl season. I'll be like, Nebraska was ranked in the preseason. I'm just playing. But I'm just saying, anyway, the preseason bowl. But Nebraska will defeat a very tough Northwestern team 13-10. Maybe they are for real. I don't know. But definitely a big-time team victory there. Northwestern just not having a great game or a great year, man. 1-4. They're actually usually a tough team. Mind you, this is a very interesting victory. Well, a very cool victory because they lost Denver Broncos style. I'm just kidding. Anyway, poor Broncos. They lost in week 2 and week 4 on a last-second field goal. And, Nebraska would defeat the Wildcats the same exact way as last week. Lane McCollum, I believe is how you pronounce his name, will kick a 24-yard field goal as time expires, and, that will give Nebraska the victory. North Carolina, after having Clemson, number 1 Clemson, their ACC division rivals, or ACC conference rivals, on the ropes last week, while they would take out their frustration on poor little Georgia Tech, a team who was just having an incredibly tough year. I think the team that they were supposed to beat, I forgot who it was, but they were favored against the last team they were supposed to actually beat a couple weeks ago, and they still lost. So Georgia Tech, I don't think has won a game all year. They have won one, but poor guys. But North Carolina will go on to defeat them 38-22. Is North Carolina back after playing number 1 Syracuse that way? I don't care. I think they are back. It is what it is. Arizona will defeat Colorado 35-30 in a Pac-12 battle there. Western Kentucky will defeat Old Dominion 20-3. In the SEC, Tennessee has just seen better days. They had a chance to win it all a couple years ago when Dobbins, or Dobson, I forgot his name, but was there, and, they've been anything but good ever since. Number 3, Georgia will go on over there and just get a huge victory, 43-14. Talk about a big victory there. UAB defeats Rice, 35-20. FAU will defeat UMass, 44-0 at home. We have here number 24 SMU defeating Tulsa 43-37 in triple, not single, not overtime, not double overtime, but triple overtime. It would all come to a close with a touchdown by James Prochet, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. It would be 25-yard pass from Shane Buechele, I don't want to butcher his name, but to James Prochet. 25-yard pass into the end zone. That will get the victory, guys. 43-37. Number 24 SMU. They are on their way. They won the rivalry game this year versus TCU. The Mustangs are on their way. All that deserves an applause button. Great stuff there. Next up, Ole Miss will defeat Vandy in an SEC battle there, defeating Vanderbilt 31-6. Should be a good baseball matchup as well this year. Two good baseball schools. Vandy for damn sure, as they won it all this past year. But number 13, Oregon defeats Cal 17-7. Is Oregon on their way back? I'm pretty sure they are. Well, are they back? I'm pretty sure they are. So, with that said, we have Pittsburgh defeating Duke 33-30. UTSA defeating UTEP 26-16. Liberty defeating Mexico State 20-13. Oregon State defeating UCLA 48-31. The Pac-12 battle, another Pac-12 battle here. We have Stanford. How about the upset, y'all? Upset alert! Stanford, who hasn't done much all season long, got beat down by a very pitiful USC team, will defend their turf versus number 15 Washington, who USC had a pretty good game with, but no cigar, no victory. I wasn't expecting it. I mean, actually, I kind of was, but whatever. But good victory there. Coach Shaw, I'm just another applause button for this guy, man. And for this team. Big victory. That is the victory that Stanford has been waiting for. I've been fighting for. They finally got it done, guys. 23-13. Once again, Stanford will upset number 15 Washington. We have number 16 Boise State defeating UNLV on the road 38-13. Also, my beloved San Diego State Aztecs defeating Colorado State on the road 24-10. And then on Saturday Night Football, well, it was supposed to be a good game, but it wasn't. Number 4 Ohio State will knock off number 25 Michigan State 34-10 in the shoe in Columbus in the horseshoe. And well, that will be that for this week, or for last week. Week 6 in the NCAA. All right, Saren, your way in, brother. What you got to say about any of those games, man?
Well, I will say this. I am disappointed in UCLA for not beating Oregon State. That is just disgusting right there. I understand UCLA has been through a lot of downs this year, but how do you go from beating Washington State on the road to losing to Oregon State at home? At this point, they've probably reached a bigger low than the Cleveland Browns. But you just can't lose to Oregon State. I thought they were turning the corner. I mean, the other week when they lost to Arizona, that was understandable. That was a close game. But to Oregon State on your home turf, that's ridiculous, man. Come on, UCLA. You're better than that.
No, they're not. Just kidding. Fight on. Anyway, but you're right, man. Come on, really? They've had some, I don't know. But any other thoughts on any of these games, man? The floor is open, man. What you got?
I mean, I'm not really ultimately surprised about the Stanford-Washington matchup, considering Washington has not won at the farm ever in I think it was 7 years, or 2007. I'm not sure. But it's been way too long for Washington to have gotten the win over, to have gotten the road win over Stanford, and Stanford pretty much defend their home turf. And there hasn't been a whole lot to be excited about at Stanford in terms of football, but I think Stanford's starting to turn it around. Hopefully they can get KJ Costello back, because he definitely is a game changer. As for the UCLA loss, they did have to start Devon Monster, who I believe is a Tesoro alum, so big shout out to Tesoro. Hi. Get well soon, Matt Poston. But this Pac-12 race, I think the best team in the Pac-12 is probably Oregon. I hate to say it, but Oregon's arguably the best team in the Pac-12, and there's honestly no doubt about it, considering they've just been other than that slip up against Auburn, they're just pretty much a complete team. And this week, Oregon has a big well, no, they don't have a big matchup. They have Colorado, which is starting to turn it around, but But, if I were Oregon, I would not look that far ahead to their matchup against Washington, because obviously Washington is the big-time matchup, but they obviously need to take it one game at a time, because they can win the Pac-12, but they have to play their cards right, and they just can't overlook anybody.
Absolutely, man. So, any closing statements on this past week before we get into the rankings?
No, not really. Not necessarily. No.
Okay.
You can get to the rankings.
All right, it's all good.
It felt weird not seeing USC play last week. I will say that.
It was. I know. I was like, what the heck? Bye. Like, whatever. But hey, it's all right. Bye week, we're good. We're good to go. So hopefully this week will be a little better, and we shall see. So. Well, hopefully this week will be a little bit better, and we continue to get better. So, anyway, from the rankings courtesy of the ESPN Scores and Wrap, where I'm getting my sources from here, we have 25 to 21. We have Cincinnati, Texas A&M, Memphis in their really cool uniforms. We have Baylor and SMU just climbing on up the rankings. I love it. From 20 to 16, Virginia, who is doing big things, winning basketball this year, and looking pretty good here, coming up in football. Wake Forest, Arizona State, let's go, Herm Edwards, I love it. Iowa and Michigan, who I guess they are moving up 3 spots, but whatever. Anyway, so 15 to 11, Utah, Boise State, Oregon, Auburn, dropped 5 spots, my gosh, Texas, and jumping up 2 spots, Penn State. Oh, sorry. Well, yeah, I guess I already jumped into that. Sorry, guys. So from 10 to 6, Penn State jumping up 2 spots to number 10. Notre Dame, Wisconsin, jumping up 3 spots. Florida, and number 6, Oklahoma. We have, and then of course the top 5, LSU at 5-0, Georgia at 5-0, jumping up 1 spot this week. We have here, actually, it's a tie. Look at that. It's a tie for third. Ohio State now jumping into 3rd, joining Georgia there. And then we have, they're at 6-0. Then Clemson at 5-0 and Alabama at 5-0. And crazy how Clemson will fall after that close call to North Carolina. I don't think that's not going to hurt them as much as, that's not going to hurt them at all when it comes to the rankings. To the college football playoff, they're still up here. I'm pretty sure they'll still get in, but definitely a loss. I think might have just thrown them out. But regardless, should be interesting to see what how that comes into play later. But anyway, so that's it. Of course, like I said, number 1 Alabama. So, all right, Taryn, are you ready to make some picks for this week, man?
Oh yeah, I'm ready to make some picks.
All right, here we go. Even if you don't know it, let's have some fun with it. Here we go. So tomorrow, week number 7 begins. Appalachian State at 4-0, taking on the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns. This should be interesting. Louisiana, not a bad year so far. Appalachian State, don't forget, they're the team to upset Michigan 10 years ago, or actually 12 years ago, and almost did it again 2 years ago on the exact same date in the Big House. I think it was in the Big House. But anyway, craziness there. But we got the Ragin' Cajuns once again taking on Appalachian State. Who are you taking, Taryn?
I think I'm going to take Louisiana for this one.
Me too. I think they're at home. They look good. Tough team. We'll find out. So, Thursday, on October 10th, we have here Syracuse at 3-2. They had a chance to beat Clemson a couple weeks ago. Could not pull it off at home. And then we have NC State at 3-2. And then UL Monroe at 2-3, taking on Texas State at 2-3. Who are you taking for those games, Taryn?
I'm going to take Syracuse for the one against North Carolina State, and I'm going to take Texas State for the one against LA Monroe.
Good pick. Syracuse just a little too tough, I think, for the Wolfpack. And then, I'm really not I can totally admit I have no idea what's going on in either one of these teams, but I'll just take the home team, Texas State. So, on to Friday, ACC matchup here. Number 20, Virginia will take on a Miami team who's they've been so up and down this year in the Orange Bowl. Or I don't know if they call it the Orange Bowl anymore, I don't know, but in Miami's house. Should be interesting there, because, I don't know, let me take a quick look here. Have they called it something different by now? It's Hard Rock Stadium. That's where the Dolphins play, my bad. But anyway, my bad. I think the Orange Bowl was, destroyed years ago, my bad. But anyway, so, we have here Colorado State at 1-5, taking on the Lobos of New Mexico at 2-3, and then we have Colorado at 3-2, taking on number 13 Oregon in a Pac-12 battle. Taryn, your thoughts?
I'm going to definitely take Oregon for that one. I think Oregon's will not look that far ahead to Washington. I mean, if they do though, then don't don't expect Colorado to take it easy on them. As for Virginia, Miami, I'm taking Virginia. I'm taking the lacrosse school to win. Then Colorado State, New Mexico. I'm going to take New Mexico for this one. So, yeah, I mean, it is kind of iffy, but I'm going to take New Mexico to win that one.
I think so, too. Lobo's probably going to get done at home. They're not that great of a team, but Colorado State has really not been that great of a team. Miami has proven to show that they can actually beat a big-time team like this, so I'm definitely going to take them Virginia. That's right. They won it all in lacrosse, too. I'm telling you guys, Virginia's coming on up, man. The Cavaliers are getting it done, and I also feel that Oregon's just going to be a little too much for Colorado, especially in Autzen Stadium. Moving on to Saturday. Here we go, Terry. I'm going to start breaking these off into blocks of like 5 or 6 or maybe even 7. We'll find out. But all right, here we go. So starting things off, we have South Carolina with an SEC battle. South Carolina at 2-3, taking on the number 3 team in the nation, Georgia at 5-0. I don't know if that's going to be too hard to pick a winner there. Number 6, Oklahoma, taking on number 11, Texas. Oklahoma is 5-0. Texas 4-1. This is the Red River Showdown. Oh, it's going to be a good one. Can Burt Orange defeat that maroon burgundy color of Oklahoma? We shall find out, but I don't know, y'all. This will be a very good game in the Cotton Bowl. Always an exciting one there. Next up, we have here number 16, Michigan at 4-1, taking on Illinois at 2-3. That's the tough one, right? Number 23, Memphis, in their really cool uniforms at 5-0, taking on Temple at 4-1. Maryland, we have a Big Ten battle here. Maryland at 3-2, taking on Purdue at 1-4. Purdue's just not been. I don't know. Maybe they can upset Maryland. I don't know. Maryland's had a interesting start of the season, good and then bad in some points. And then Mississippi State at 3-2, taking on my gosh. No, I'm giving Tennessee a ranking. That's almost like giving Nebraska a ranking at the beginning of the season. Anyway, so Mississippi State at 3-2 and Tennessee at 1-4. So anyway, might as well get a couple more in here. Miami of Ohio at 2-3, taking on Western Michigan at 3-3, and Toledo at 4-1, taking on Bowling Green at 1-4. And let's just do one more. Georgia Tech at 1-4, taking on Duke at 3-2. All right, Terrence, lengthy little list right there. Go ahead and give me all your thoughts for all those games and predictions.
Okay, so you pretty much lost me on some of these games. So I'm just going to go down the list in terms of like time. Alabama, Texas A&M, H-Town Blake or Blake Henley.
No, we're not there yet. Sorry, Darren. We're not there. It's okay.
Yeah. You're it's kind of being thrown off considering because I'm looking down the list, but with between teams.
Are you on the ESPN ScoreCenter app?
Oh, no, I'm on the NCAA app.
Gotta find the ESPN ScoreCenter app, man. Sorry about that. So, all right. So, we'll just go down the list real quick. So, South Carolina and number 3, Georgia. Who do you think, man?
Definitely Georgia.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be much of a battle there. Number 6, as I mentioned, the Cotton Bowl Classic, man. The Cotton Bowl, this is going to be such a good, the Red River Showdown, if you will. Number 6, Oklahoma, 5-0. Number 11, Texas at 4-1. This is actually a pretty interesting game. Taryn, who you got?
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to take Oklahoma. I mean, it's going to be a close one, but I think Oklahoma Jalen Hurts is just going to lead him to victory. No, nothing against Texas, but, I think Oklahoma is going to continue their hot start. Texas is up there, but, I just don't think they're on the level that Oklahoma's up there.
I completely agree. I think Oklahoma's going to win this game pretty handedly. I think it's going to be a pretty good game. I'll actually give you a score, 35-21. Maybe not handily, but it's a rivalry, but I think Oklahoma's going to get a nice victory in this one. Number 16, Michigan, taking on Illinois.
Definitely taking Michigan. Michigan did have that ugly little loss, but honestly, I think I can see Michigan beating Illinois.
Totally can see the same exact thing here, man. Michigan needs to get it together, but this is a game where they can certainly get a nice victory. Then, as I mentioned, number 23, Memphis taking on Temple.
Okay, so before I do that, I want to give a shout out to Evan Barnes, who's the beat reporter for Memphis football. He was actually a reporter in California, then he moved to Memphis to take a job there. So big ups to Evan Barnes. We see you. I'm taking Memphis for this one. He's been keeping a good close eye on Memphis and how they're going to be ranked and of who eventually and how they'll eventually be ranked, and look at them now. So big shout out to, I'm taking Memphis for this one. I'm taking the Bluff City Classic, and honestly, I'm taking Memphis.
I love it because what's his name again?
Evan Barnes.
Evan Barnes, you're awesome, dude, because you're covering this team with the really cool uniforms. I love the uniforms. Okay, anyway, so awesome job there. I'm also going to take Memphis in their really cool uniforms to win this one on the road versus Temple. Should be a really good game. Temple is definitely going to give these guys quite the fight. They've only lost one game this year, but I'm going to go with Memphis for the win here. Next up, Maryland at 3-2, Purdue at 1-4. Once again, Maryland's had a weird up and down kind of a year, and then it's like, what in the world is going on? Purdue is just not producing right now. Who you got right now, Darren?
I'm going to take Purdue for this one. I'm sorry to all the Terp fans, and I unfortunately will not take the lacrosse school. I'm taking Purdue because they're from the... I hate to take the Power 5 conference school, but, I think Purdue is just going to get it together. They'll eventually get it together.
I think so as well. Should be a very good game between these two. Purdue's going to give them a fight, I know, but I just can't do it, Taryn. I think Maryland's just had too much of a little bit of a better year. Purdue is anything but extremely good right now. I'm gonna have to lean towards Maryland, even if they are on the road. Next up, SEC battle: Mississippi State at 3-2, Tennessee 1-4. Who are you taking, Taryn?
I'm gonna take Mississippi State. I was thinking about taking Tennessee, but Tennessee has just been as Drake would say.
Yeah, absolutely. As who would say?
Drake. Yeah, he one time said,
Well,
Drake's known for for having memes, for being the meme of everything.
That's quite the meme to have, especially for Tennessee even having a chance in this game. I think Tennessee, it would be actually a pretty good football game. I mean, Mississippi State's not that much better, but they are better, so I'm going to take them as well. Then you have Rutgers at 1-4, taking on Indiana at 3-2. Hoosiers or Scarlet Knights? Who you got, Taryn?
I'm taking the Hoosiers. I'm sorry to say this, but Rutgers, who's your daddy?
Oh, that's cold-blooded. No, he didn't say that. I like that pick. Sorry, Rutgers. I've got to go with the Hoosiers too, man. They're at home. They're just a little bit better. Rutgers has had a tough year. They fired their head coach, unfortunately, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. So best luck to him wherever he goes, man. But I just really think that Indiana is going to have a nice victory at home. Miami of Ohio at 2-3. Taking on Western Michigan at 3-3 at home. It's actually a pretty interesting battle here. They're actually favoring Western Michigan by 13 points here in the over-under on the ESPN ScoreCenter app. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on this game here, Darren?
That's a tough one. I think Miami's had their bye week. Don't know when they had their bye week, but I gotta go with Western Michigan. I was thinking about picking Miami, but I think Western Michigan's just going to be... It's just going to, playing at home, and, I think Michigan's got the advantage. Western Michigan has the advantage.
I think so as well. We shall see how that goes, but I'm pretty darn sure they do. I'm also going to be taking that game. Western Michigan. They were just a couple years removed from the Cotton Bowl, man. I mean, I know they haven't been the same since, really, like that much better, but once again, I'm just going to take them at home. So, next up, Toledo. 4-1 Toledo taking on, 1-4 Bowling Green. Toledo is favored by 26 points, Darren.
I definitely got to go with Toledo. I think, unfortunately, Bowling Green is going to get strucken down.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Get
as
it?
well.
Bowling Green.
Oh, you're cold, dude. You're just having the jokes today, right? You're one cold cat, man. It's all good though. It's all good. I'm right there with you, man. Toledo's, I think, is going to step on these guys. So sorry, Bowling Green. Next up, we have 1-4 Georgia Tech taking on 3-2 Duke. Now, Duke is actually, playing football. Not bad. People would have discovered a couple years ago that they're more than a basketball school. Georgia Tech has been anything but good this year. Duke is actually favored by 17.5 points. My gosh! Regardless, I think that this does sum up this ACC matchup this week pretty well. Taryn, who you got?
I got Duke. I mean, Duke is playing good football as of late, I just don't see Georgia Tech winning. Duke may be a basketball school, but Duke's on the rise.
Absolutely. Duke is on it. I think Duke's going to win this one pretty handedly at home. Next up, Ball State taking on Eastern Michigan or East Michigan. Ball State at 2-3, East Michigan at 3-2. This is actually a really good game. And look at the over-under is 1 point for Ball State. That is crazy, man. Look at that. Who you got for this game?
I'm going to take Ball State with the upset, if you can call it an upset.
I don't think it would be an upset. Well, I mean, they're favored, but you're absolutely right. It probably is an upset because the record-wise. And you know what? I'll take that, Taryn. That's pretty good stuff there. I'm actually going to go with the home team just because they're home. I think they're going to ride the home wave and get it done. Usually I will take the home team. But good stuff here. I think that would be a good matchup here, and I'm going to take East Michigan at home. Next up, we have here Old Dominion at 1-4 taking on the Herd or the Thundering Herd of Marshall at 2-3. Who you got, Darren?
That's a tough one, honestly. I'm taking Marshall. You know, both these teams are under 500. I think Marshall's going to come out hungry and on with a chance to be above 500. I think they're just going to come out hungry and determined and ready to go, especially at home.
Good pick. Good pick. I like it. So we have that. Next up, New Mexico State at 0-6. Darren, the Aggies are 0-6. Great everything else in volleyball. They beat the ladies of Cal Baptist yesterday. I think they won it all last year. And then in basketball, they won it all again in the WAC last year. But my gosh, and in football, they're 0-6 there. Not trying to hate on them or anything. But Central Michigan, the Chippewas are 3-3. New Mexico State's on the road. Yeah, they say they have here. CMU is favored by 10.5 points, but I don't know. Taryn?
Even though Antonio Brown isn't playing for Central Michigan's football team, even though he's a student, I'm taking Central Michigan.
Good choice. I am also taking the Chippewas to win this thing at home. All right, Taryn. Here we go. You ready for this one? You know exactly what it is. Well, kind of. This is going to be a war, but only for, I think, a limited time until Bama gets their footing. I hate to say it like that, but it's just Alabama, guys. Number 1 Alabama will roll on into College Station to take on the number 24 team in the country. I think they just actually jumped in the top 25, or I don't know if they're falling out of it. I have no idea what's going on there. I forgot. It's been hard to keep up with everything recently or lately, but I'll tell you what. Number 24 Texas A&M is going to fight with all they have. They are 3-2, and they're going to be taking on this Bama team. However, I don't know how it's going to go. I would love to say it would be... Well, actually, I do know how it's going to... I think I know how it's going to go. I'd love to say it's going to be a close game. I think it would be a close game for the first half, but then Bama just finds their footing and pulls away in the second half. I could be wrong. I'm going to go Bama 31-17 in this game. Maybe higher than that one. I'm being a little generous, but I think Alabama's going to win this one regardless. Who you got in this one, Taryn?
Okay, now for real. I'm sorry to say this, H-Town Blake Henley, but I gotta pick Alabama. You know, I'm sure Texas A&M will, not go down without a fight, especially in front of their home fans, but I gotta pick Bama for this one.
Yeah, it's just not even the 12th man can save him in this one. I guess you know what? Hey, gig 'em when I think they're favored, or I think they can win it, even an upset. But I do not have them in an upset at all in this one. Alabama's just too good. They're too strong. Texas A&M is in the SEC now. They're playing with the big boys. I think they're definitely a good school and they belong there. But I don't know. And this game this year is a little too far-fetched. So. Anyway, moving forward, we have an ACC battle now. Florida State, who has just seen better days, are at 3-2. They are anything but good right now. Then we have, well, not anything but good, but they're just not that great. I'll tell you that right now. So, taking on number two Clemson at 5-0. Clemson, if it wouldn't have been for that really close call with UNC, they probably still would have been number 1. So you get the gist of things. Anyway. This kind of could be lopsided. I don't know. They have Clemson in favor by 27 points. So, yeah. Taryn, your thoughts?
I think this one might be closer than expected. You know, one of my Twitter followers, who's a huge Florida State fan, I'm sorry I gotta do this, but I gotta pick Clemson. I think it'll be close, though. I think Florida State will make a battle of it. You know, Florida State, like you said, has seen better days, and obviously Clemson is the juggernaut, but, you know, I can see Florida State, trying to fight tooth and nail. You know, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, bringing up Mike Pat, my host, one of my co-hosts on 3 and Out. I mean, man, he's quite the Florida Seminole. He's a alum of there, and that is his school. But yeah, I think even he would agree Clemson's probably too big of a mountain to climb for these Seminoles right now, so especially on the road. So next up, Michigan State at 4-2, taking on number 8 Wisconsin at 5-0. Michigan State just took a huge loss to a giant of the Big Ten, and well, they're going to be taking on another giant of the Big Ten right now in Wisconsin. Wisconsin is favored by 10 points. Personally, I think that's generous. Taryn.
So this one might be closer than expected because I think Michigan State's going to want to come out and just want to get back on track because that last week was a tough week. Wisconsin is having a day in fall sports when it comes to like football and women's volleyball, as their women's volleyball team pulled a pair of big upsets as well. I'm going to take Wisconsin, but this one's going to be close. I think I'll take Wisconsin maybe 27-24.
Good stuff there. I want to say the Spartans are going to keep it close. I just have this feeling Wisconsin's going to open the sucker up, especially if they're at home. I know I'm for the home team usually. As I said, I'm going to go 42-17. I think Wisconsin's going to just come out in this one. All right, we have a Pac-12 battle here. I like this one. With Washington State, man, Gardner Minshew doing big things now in Jacksonville for the Jaguars. Well, they're not so bad without him. They've won a couple games. They've also lost a couple of games. But Washington State, not too shabby right now. Really interested in seeing what they can do. However, they're going to be going down south, way down south, down in the country. Well, not in the country, but down, like literally in the country. They're going to be going south to take on numbers 18, Arizona State. And, Herm Edwards and his boys are ready to rock and roll. 4-1 Sun Devils right now taking on a pretty good Washington State team. Or at least I would like to say they're pretty good. This is only favored by 1 point. ESPN Sports and Rap has them favored by 1 point, Taryn. Just 1 point. Can you believe that, Taryn? 1 point. Arizona State favored in this game versus that goes to show you how much respect the ESPN folks, or the folks at the ESPN app, or whoever gives these things, these predictions or these lines, or Vegas, I don't know who it is, but there's a lot of respect given Washington State's way. Wazoo is a tough team. The Cougs are going to come out and fight. The Sun Devils, I think, are going to be a little bit much for them, at least a little bit. I don't know. It's going to be a close one. Taryn, who you got?
I'm going to pick Washington State with the upset.
Whoa.
The Cougars have taken back-to-back losses, but I think this is their game where they're going to get back on track. Arizona State, nothing against Arizona State, but I think Jalen Daniels is just a little too young. I think Washington State's quarterback being Gordon, Anthony Gordon, who's a senior, he's going to have a lot more. He's going to be a lot more crisper. I mean, you got to give it up for Jaden Daniels, not Jalen Daniels. Jaden Daniels, a freshman coming out of Cajon in San Bernardino. He's doing it big. But I think Anthony Gordon's just going to have a better day. And I think Washington State's going to get to Arizona State a lot quicker.
That's awesome. I did not know that about Jaden Daniels from Cajon. That's awesome. But I'm going to go with him and his team. I think Arizona State's going to... He's for Arizona State, you said, right? Is the quarterback the youngster?
Yeah, Jaden Daniels is on Arizona State.
Well, I'm going to give it to Jaden Daniels and his team. I think they're going to get it done by honestly, probably by a field goal. I really think it's going to be a good battle. We'll find out, though, guys. This will be a good game here. Number 25, Cincinnati, who definitely earns being number 25 at 4-1, taking on taking on Houston at 2-3. To me, this one's kind of easy. Taryn, who you got?
I'm taking Cincy for this one. Houston, you have a problem, and it's going to be against Cincinnati.
I like that, and you're absolutely correct. So I like it. Next up, we have BYU. BYU has had an interesting season. They defeated USC earlier this year. They've had some very good games. I don't know, guys. This has been such a good one. BYU taking on that tough team of USF. I think Mac is still there. Mac Strong. Or Mac Brown. This is a good game. Good game. Should be a very good game. They're both 2-3. This is a very good football game. The line is 6.5 for BYU. Oh, this is a good game. This is a tough one. Taryn, who you got?
Well, hate to do this to you, but I gotta pick BYU. You know, they're gonna be out of their comfort zone, though, playing at USF. So BYU's gotta come out ready to go. Their defense has to produce and limit USF's scoring possibilities. I mean, but yeah, BYU. I'm taking BYU in a close one.
You know,
this one might be a defensive battle, honestly.
I would love to see that, and for that reason too, even more now, I'm going to go with BYU as well. I think they were the team that beat USC, and you know what? Hey, I mean, not that USC I think is anywhere near a national championship right now, but that's still my team, and hey, beat my team, I kind of like you a little bit. So after I can't stand you for like a week, so BYU, you know what? Good team, and I think they can get it done on the road. Next up, Kent State at 2-3, taking on Akron at 0-5. Kent State is favored by 13.5 points. Darren, who you got?
I'm sorry to do this to you, LeBron James, but I'm picking Kent State.
He's like, well, this is where he comes from, absolutely. So I think it is Akron, Ohio. So yeah, man, I just don't see this one going any other way. Poor Akron there, 0-5. Hate to put you at 0-6, but I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm taking Kent State on the road. Northern Illinois, the Huskies of Northern Illinois at 1-4, taking on Ohio, the Bobcats. They won a big one last week, I think, what we just talked about, at 2-3. And well, Ohio, can they get it done at home? They're favored by 7 points. Taryn, who you got?
You know, I really want to pick Northern Illinois, but I'm picking Ohio. I gotta go with Ohio.
I think so too. We talked about that one earlier. They won in overtime versus Buffalo last week in on the road, and that's a very good football team. I just don't see this one going any other way. Northern Illinois is going to come fight. Hey, big ups to NIU, but I really think that Ohio is going to win this one at home. Then we have UConn at 1-4. They are nothing like their women's basketball team. I'm sorry, but yeah, maybe Coach needs to go over there. Maybe Gino Ariema needs to go over there and help these guys out. I'm just kidding. But yeah, they're taking on Tulane this week on the road. Tulane is 4-1, and they're also favored by 34 points. Darren, who you got?
I got Tulane. Nothing more needs to be said.
I think so, man. Tulane's going to win this one pretty big. I'd love to see an upset in this one. I'm really pulling for UConn. Come on, guys, win this freaking game. But I have to go with Tulane with the pick. So, Texas Tech won a ranked game last week, knocking off Oklahoma State in a very basketball score. I mean, it wasn't 100% basketball score-ish, but it was still pretty high scoring. I don't know what it is in Texas A&M and high-scoring games. It's been like that for a couple of years now. But they're going to be heading on over to take on Baylor. Number 22 Baylor. Number 22 Baylor, who is 5-0. And number 22 Baylor, who is 5-0, who is also favored by 10 points. Taryn, who you got?
I'm going to take Baylor for this one. You know, Baylor's women's volleyball team is the only team that's undefeated when it comes to Baylor sports. Their football team is as well. I'm just going to take Baylor.
Good way of picking. You know, Texas A&M can totally win this game. This team is weird. They're up and down. They're all over the place. And they were in the College World Series this year. Basketball, they made it all the way to the final in March Madness. You know what? They're a good team. The Red Raiders are on their way. Well, they're a good school. They're on their way in a lot of things. Football, I'd love to say that they are as well. And they're not. It's not like they're in a bad direction, but it's just a tough game for this week. They pull off the upset last week. Can they do it? I think they totally can. However, I'm going to take Baylor in a close one here. Next up, San Jose State at 3-2. Taking on the Wolfpack of Nevada at 3-2. Nevada is favored at home by 2 points. Taryn.
I'm gonna take Nevada in a close one. You know, honestly, this is gonna be a really good battle. You know, San Jose State is really good, and Nevada is good. You know, they're both have the same record, so it's tough to call. I'm gonna take Nevada for this one.
I think so too. I think the Wolfpack at home. Very good game here, but I'm gonna go Nevada in a close one at home. UNLV 1-4. Vanderbilt 1-4. And believe it or not, I thought it was UNLV. Poor Rebels. Well, Vandy is favored at home by 15 points. Darren?
This one's going to be a tank bowl for sure. I'm taking Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I'm going to say Vandy at home. Poor UNLV. I guess don't see them winning. So, next up, Iowa State at 3-2. West Virginia at 3-2. Iowa State's actually favored by 10.5 points this year. I'm telling you, man, West Virginia just lost too much talent. I don't know. Taryn, who you got?
I'm going to take... That's a tough one. I'm going to take West Virginia. I'm actually going to take West Virginia despite the high-low.
I like it. I have to go with the high-low. I know I've been going with it the entire time, but It's rough. I would love to see the Mountaineers get something done at home, and they possibly could, but Iowa State is on one, man. They have been playing good football, and I think the Cyclones will pull this one off on the road. You are right, Rhode Island! The Rams taking on the Virginia Tech Hokies. Rhode Island at 1-4, Virginia Tech at 3-2, and Virginia Tech is also favored by 25.5 points. Taryn, who you got?
I'm probably going to take Virginia Tech for this one. Home field advantage, and Rhode Island hasn't been good this year, so give me Tech.
I'm taking Tech as well. Good pick, man. Mid-Tennessee, the Blue Raiders at 2-3 will be taking on FAU, the Owls, in a good, well, I don't know if Lane Kiffin's still there. I don't think he is, but this should actually be a really, really good football game. I'm actually really excited for this game. This should be a really good game. It really could be. FAU is favored by 10.5 points. It really could go either way, though. You got Terrence.
I'm going to take Mid-Tennessee with the upset. I have this feeling that Mid-Tennessee is going to win this one.
Good pick. I'm going to say FAU at home because it would be the safe pick, but you know what? Mid-Tennessee could definitely win this thing. Georgia State, coming off a big victory last week, is taking on Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers. This team was actually in the College World Series a couple of years ago. They won it all in 2016 over Arizona. That's really all I got about Coastal Carolina and their school history. I think it was the first time in history they've ever gotten to a championship in Division I history, so I don't know. Maybe it was, it wasn't, I don't know. But regardless, Coastal Carolina, you know what? I don't know if they've been tested like this year, but I do know that we just talked about Georgia State. Actually, that was Georgia Southern, sorry. That won that big game last week over South Alabama. But regardless, I'm going to go with the home team as usual. They're favored by 5.5 points. I'm going Chanticleers at home. Who you got, Taryn?
I'm going to take... I'll take I'm going to take Coastal Carolina.
It'll be a close game. It really could be a good game.
It will be close, though.
I think so. UAB, the team that was just not a program out of nowhere. Their program got stripped, or they just lost the program, and then they came back the very next year and won their conference. I mean, how awesome is that? Here they are again this year. I think it's their second year back, taking on at 4-1. The Blazers are looking good right now, taking on UTSA at 2-3. The Blazers, however, are favored on the road, 12 points. So you got, Taryn?
Yeah, I'm going to take UAB for this one. UTSA may have the home field, but I think UAB is back, baby. I think they're back.
I think so, too. I think they're going to win this thing. Army at 3-2. They're favored by 4.5 points as well. Taking on the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky at 3-2. This is be a very good game. Who you got, Taryn?
I'm going to take Army for this one. Again, Western Kentucky may be the home team, but I think Army is just more disciplined. I can only imagine what their football team has to go through in practice.
I think so too. That should be a really good game. I think the Hilltoppers are going to pull this thing off by a field goal. Next up, we have UMass at 1-5, taking on La Tech at 4-1. La Tech is favored, by 33 points. Who you got in this one, Darren?
I'm going to take Tech for this one. I'm going to take, I think that might be, I think it was Louisiana Tech. I'm not sure, but I'm taking Tech to win anyway.
Yeah, La Tech, Louisiana Tech. I'm going to say the same thing, man. I'm thinking the Bulldogs win this thing win this thing at home. Then they got the Mean Green. I love saying that's awesome. Mean Green. Okay, I'm sorry. At 2-3. I like it. The North Texas Mean Green at 2-3. Taking on Southern Miss at 3-2, and Southern Miss is actually favored at by 4 points. Who you got, Darren?
Because you said it like that, I'm going to take the Mean Green.
Right? Isn't it cool? They have the coolest name, dude. Like, seriously, coolest name. The North Texas Mean Green. Like, that is the coolest thing. I don't know. I think they can win this thing, too. I just like their name, dude. I can't help it. 2-2, Fresno State. They looked great last year. They played well in the Mountain West last year. They looked good. And they're playing the Air Force, who is actually looking pretty good themselves at 3-2. Air Force is favored by 4 points. This is going to be a really good football game. Taryn, who you got?
Believe it or not, I'm going to take Fresno State. I'm going to take Fresno State because, as you said in the first episode, they deserve some respect for how they've been doing. Give me the Bulldogs.
I am with you on that. I'm going to second that. I'm definitely going to take the Fresno State Bulldogs. Definitely deserved, and I do think they're going to win this thing on the road. They deserve more respect. They really do. So we have Ole Miss at 3-3. taking on Missouri at 4-1. Mizzou is actually favored by 12 points. Darren, who you got?
I'm probably going to pick Missouri as well. You know, I think Missouri just recently had a bye week, and I think they're going to be a little bit fresher than Ole Miss.
Yeah, I think so too. Much better team and just better. I think they're just better. So Missouri is going to win this thing. SEC battle here, but I really think that Missouri is going to win this thing. So next up, I think they're going to win this thing. So Charlotte at 2-3, taking on FIU, Florida International University at 2-3 as well. FIU is favored at home by 6.5 points. Who you got, Darren?
I'm probably going to take Florida International.
Yeah, same here. Same, not much of a difference in the record is what it is. Should be a good matchup there, but I'm really excited for this matchup. Next up, got number 10 Penn State at 5-0. Iowa at 17. Number 17, they're at 4-1. This is a Big Ten matchup that I think a lot of people were waiting for, and now that I see it, I am so sorry, guys. This is actually the Saturday night football game, so the game of the week, we'll save that one for the end. My apologies, but that is going to be a good football game. We'll get to that one in a little bit. So we have Louisville at 3-2, taking on number 19 Wake Forest at 5-0. Wake Forest is favored by 6.5 points. Who you got, Darren?
I'm going to take Wake Forest for this one, but I think it'll be close. It will be close for this one.
I think so as well. I'm going to take Wake Forest, but my gosh, I think Louisville's going to bring fight to this team. A Big Ten battle that I am concerned about because Minnesota is just really good right now at 5-0. They're favored by 8 points in this game, but my gosh, Nebraska, as much crap as I've been talking on them, they've actually been a pretty decent team. They've backed up a lot of it. I still don't think they deserve to be ranked in the beginning of the season. However, they're 4-2, and they're earning their keep right now. So I don't know. This might be a really good game right here. Who you got, Darren?
Ooh, yeah, it is going to be a tough one. Battle of two sophomore quarterbacks. I'm going to take the Gophers to win this one. The Golden Gophers. I think Tanner Morgan's just going to bring more to the table. But, I think this one's going to be close.
I think so, too. I'm going to take Minnesota by a field goal. But, my gosh, why should by a touchdown? But it's going to be a good game. Arkansas at 2-3, taking on Kentucky at 2-3. Kentucky last year had this crazy breakout year, got a whole bunch of players drafted, and now it's kind of like, oh, great, same Kentucky. It's still a basketball school. People remembered they had football last year, and it wasn't just a basketball school, and now it's kind of back to a basketball school, my bad. But anyway, this should be a good game. But, I don't know, they got the Wildcats favored here by 6.5 points. I don't know. Taryn, your thoughts?
So, this will be a battle of two junior quarterbacks. Tough to call, honestly, as their touchdown-interception ratios leaves a lot to be desired. I'm going to take Kentucky for this one.
Yeah.
I'm taking Kentucky.
I think so. I'd love to see Kentucky get a nice victory at home. I think they'll pull this thing off. All right, next up, we got Navy at 3-1, taking on Tulsa at 2-3. Tulsa is actually favored by a point in this game.
So, and for good reason, too, because Navy's quarterback I think maybe Navy's quarterback is new because their primary quarterback might have gotten injured. Believe it or not, I'm going to take Tulsa to win this one.
That's a good pick. I think Tulsa's going to be favored because they're home. They're getting it done. You just said so Navy's quarterback is out, huh?
Yeah, because this other guy, Malcolm Perry, only has 3 touchdowns, 480 yards, and 22 for 33 on passing. So he must be a new quarterback. So or he probably got his first start from last week or a couple weeks ago. So but I'm going to take Tulsa and Zach Smith. So
That's kind of rough on the new guy. I got faith in new people to step in and do their thing. And honestly, I know it's an important position at quarterback. It's kind of tough. He needs to be the leader. But you know what, man? I think they can pull this thing off. I think he's going to get in there, and the youngster's going to get in there and make things happen. It wouldn't really be an upset, but with him being the leader of this team and taking over, I do think that he's going to help surge this team. I'm going to say Navy, but in a close one on the road. Next up, SEC battle. Number 7, Florida. They have climbed the ranks. Number 5, LSU at 5-0. Oh my gosh. If this is not going to be a great game, I don't know what is. this is going to happen. I mean, we've got the Swamp taking on Death Valley here. I mean, are they going to bring the Swamp to Death Valley? I don't know. But Florida is without a doubt a dang machine. They proved it last week, knocking off Auburn. Can LSU prove? I mean, I don't know. This is going to be a great team, a great game. LSU, though, this year, that offensive machine they have, they've got it going on. They look good. I don't know, guys. This is a tough one. This is seriously tough. But I'm going to go... this is a close game. I'm going to say LSU at home, but barely. I'm going to say a touchdown to a 10-point game, but it's going to be a good football game. I don't know. Taryn, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think LSU is going to get the job done. It will be close. I think Joe Burrow is going to come through with a late touchdown. His touchdown-interception ratio is very good. He's 22-3 when it comes to touchdowns and interceptions. So I'm going to take Burrow for this one. You know, for Florida's QB being Trask, Kyle Trask, you know, I think he's going to show some stride in this game. But I think Burrow being more experienced is going to just bring more to the table.
Yeah, I think so as well. And then Coach O leading the charge over there. Go Tigers! I'm just I'm gonna say, man, I he's a great guy, man. I'm really positive at this. They're gonna do good things. So, all right. Next up, we got number 15, Utah at 4-1, taking on Oregon State at 2-3. Utah is actually favored by 13.5 points. Nice little Pac-12 battle here. Taryn, is it obvious?
Yeah, Utah's going to win this one. Oregon State did get lucky. Well, no, they didn't get lucky. They did manage to get past UCLA at UCLA, or the Rose Bowl, but they're not going to. Lightning's not going to strike twice when they beat Utah. So I'm taking Utah for this one.
No, that works for me. So next up, we have Hawaii at 4-1 taking on number 14 Boise State at 5-0. Boise State is on the Smurf turf and they are favored 12.5 points.
Yeah, I'm taking Boise State for this one. You know, Boise State has always had a great program year in and year out. Hawaii has definitely improved, though. Their only losses to Washington. Washington is a very good squad, but I don't think they're going to survive against Boise State.
Yeah, it should be a good game, but I've got Boise State at home.
Mountain West Conference game, too, as well.
That's right. That's right. It is a Mountain West Conference game. All right. Next up here, let's see here. I know I skipped over earlier, but I had to save these two. But we got a couple more games to go, and then we got the late night one that we'll get to in a little bit. But, all right, Taryn. So here we go, man. These are at the top of the list, of course, for me because I have them on my phone. USC 3-2 on the season, taking on number 9 Notre Dame 4-1. Notre Dame is ranked. I'm sorry, Notre Dame is favored 11 points, and they're in South Bend.
Excuse me, Mr. Larry. I'm sorry.
Whoops. I think maybe Taryn had to step away.
We're gonna try to speed through these. So give me.
We need to go now.
Yeah.
We need to leave by 1 o'clock.
We good?
Yeah. Can we
go to work?
Are we good? Alrighty. So real quick, what we're gonna do is we'll go ahead and have some fun with. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and get through these last two. So really excited about USC, man. Really, what I'm understanding is USC probably, I would like to say USC can pull off some kind of victory here, but, I mean, let's just face it. I mean, the Fighting Irish, they're ranked, they're number 9. They're actually not pretty bad. I mean, they're a tough team, they're strong, but I'm really trying to find out what's going to happen here with SC, man, and how they can actually hold up. So, I don't know. Taryn, what you think, man?
I got Notre Dame winning this one. You know, USC struggles in the big house against Notre Dame, so give me Notre Dame. Sorry, Trojan fans.
Yeah, it sucks. I'm going to go Trojans all day. I have to. I can't pick against my team, but, well, if the Notre Dame wins this thing, I guess that's going to be that. Is what it is. But, okay, so I'm going to go USC, taking this thing at home. Then, on the road. And then Wyoming at 4-1, taking San Diego State, taking on San Diego State, also at 4-1. Not too bad here. It's a pretty good game. San Diego State has a 3.5 point margin, or at least they feel it's going to be a 3.5 point margin. Who do you got here, Taryn?
I got San Diego State winning.
Okay.
Close one, though.
I think so too. So that will be actually a pretty good game as well. I'm going to say Aztecs win this thing as well, but I don't know. And then, of course, the game of the week, as I mentioned earlier, number 10 Penn State at 5-0, taking on number 17 Iowa at 4-1. This is going to be a great victory. I mean, a great game, and whoever wins this thing will seriously be a great victory. So, game of the week, Taryn, who you got?
I'm taking Penn State for this one. It'll be close, though, but I got the Nittany Lions winning it.
I think so as well. It's going to be a really interesting game. Really excited about this because Iowa is just a very, very, very tough team and a very tough place to play. But Penn State, I think, just has a little bit more oomph, and I think they can get it done on the road. So, anyway, with that said, y'all, we have made it through our very first, I believe it or not, it's our first show, in season. So bummed out we couldn't bring it to you sooner. But anyway, Taryn, with that said, man, any last thoughts on today's show?
I'm taking Washington to beat Arizona as well.
Oh, that's right. We didn't get to that final game. That's the late night game. Washington at 4-2, Arizona at 4-1. Washington is favored by 6.5 points. If Washington doesn't win this thing, yeah, there goes your season. I think it's already gone. But anyway, with that said, I'm going to say Washington needs to win this game. If they don't, well, that's that. So anyway, Taryn, any final thoughts on this show, man, before we're out here for the day?
No, not really. I think not really. I'm just looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah, me as well, man. It should be a good game. So with that said, brother, it has been a fun one. Definitely appreciate you being on the show today, man. And yeah, I mean, hey, we'll do it again next week.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It should be a fun one, brother. So, all right, man. With that said, for Mr. Taryn Rodriguez, of course, where can they find you, good sir?
You can find me on Twitter at Taryn Rodriguez1, Teran. My last name Rodriguez has a G in it, and then I have the number 1 in it. Once again, at Taryn Rodriguez1. I'm on Twitter, and I'm active there. That's where you can find me.
All right, y'all. Well, with that said, cue the music, because we're out of here. You can find me at Boy Larry at VTHE_LB53 on Twitter. Of course, show us some love, y'all. We will be back next week. With that said, y'all, for Taryn Rodriguez, for myself, we'll see y'all next week, right here on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll see you next week, though, y'all. Until then, take care. As always, God bless.